Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final round of the GSRC GR86 Challenge. That's it. It's round 10, the big one, the finale. Tonight, one man will be named champion and everybody else will go home without a trophy. We are live from Oran Park Raceway. It may not exist anymore in the real world, having been shut in 2010, but it still survives, still lives on in iRacing, perfectly preserved. And talking about perfection, the conditions, as always, are perfect. It's a lovely 20 degrees, only 3 kilometers an hour wind, so wind's not going to be an issue. But this is a short, technical track. Trust me, you do not need wind to help you get it wrong around here. This is the standing before we start on the first of 3 races here tonight. And the maths is simple. If Jeff Connell finishes in the top 10 in all 3 races, he is champion regardless of what Chris Whitaker can do. And he started off brilliantly by putting her on pole over Brendan Whitaker, who's going to have to help out his brother if he wants Chris to win the title, and he's going to have to work hard to finish in the podium positions in the championship himself. On the second row, we then got John Merritt and Ben Faulkner. On the third row, second place in the championship, Chris Whitaker. He's got work to do from 5th. Reese Gosner is alongside him in 6th. Reese Gosner is fighting for that top 3 position in the championship with Brendan. Then Jason Close. He's the last of the 3 men in contention for a top 3 finish. Then you've got Zach Nickel in 8th, Sam Chapman in 9th, and Brock Kelly in 10th. Behind them, you've got Anthony Adshead. He's in 11th. Jacob Hughes in 12th. Stuart Ellis in 13th. Paul Nichols in 14th. He's in a tight battle to finish in the top 10 in the championship. And we take those away from you because we're about to go racing. The lights are up on the top of the screen. The engines roar. And rough looks like a pretty even start. Looks like Chris Whitaker is gonna make a position off the line. He got a much better start than Ben Faulkner alongside him. And Brendan Whitaker looks like he's not going to be able to challenge. In fact, he's going to have to work hard if he's going to keep John Merritt behind him. John Merritt, of course, one of the most well-known names in the GSRC. He is fast in every race. We've got somebody off in the background. I think that's Anthony Adshead. He's gone straight off into the wall. It's a really, really tricky first 2 corners. You're ploughing into that first corner with a heap of speed and then just dancing on the brakes, trying to brake as hard as you can without getting the back end out. It's very easy to go off. We're now watching Ben Faulkner. He's side by side with Reese Gosner. Reese Gosner, he's on 309 points. He needs to make 3 points on Brendan Whitaker if he is going to finish in the podium positions in this championship. Brendan Whitaker leading that so far. He's in 2nd, so he's in pole position to get that top 3 spot. They're not really fighting for the win of the championship. They're a bit too far behind, but 3rd is very much up for grabs. Ben Faulkner not letting us go. He is desperate to get past Reese Gosner. We now switch to the battle, and in for the lead, we've got Jeff Connell. He's 1st. Brendan Whitaker right behind him, basically pushing him along the circuit as they come through the dogleg. That camera angle makes that corner look easy. It's not. It is blind at entry. You cannot see that left hand. And if you want to take it full throttle, which all these drivers at the front want to, believe me, you need to get your angle perfect. Who's that in the background? That is Jason Close. Jason Close hasn't gone off the track. He is one of those in the battle for 3rd place. That's devastating to his hopes. Stuart Ellis also going off the track. We're now cut to Zach Nickel. He's in 9th place. He started 8th, so he's down 1 spot. Ahead of him is Matt Bailey. Oh, and he's just made contact. Not an overtake position, turn 1, and that's why. Oh, and the Toto Wolff car into the wall. You don't like to see that because of it looked like there was definitely contact at the first corner. And I believe Zach Nickel has also fallen down the order, so he also has not come out from that unscathed. After that big move is Paul Nichols. We mentioned him earlier, he's in a big battle to finish in the top 10 of the championship. He's currently in 8th place and put himself in a really strong position. He's got a really tight pack behind him. If he can keep it there for the rest of the race, that will surely boost his chances. And look at that, he's got lovely free air in front of him. Now we're going back to Kurt Chapman. Kurt Chapman, he's in 16th place. He's up 7 spots, so he's had a fantastic start. Benefiting a little bit from those going off in front of him. Oh, and he's just gone off there. Does he keep his foot in it? He's going to look to return, to come back on screen at the at the dog leg. Oh, and he's it's not gone well. Really hard to get onto the track there because you've got the incline and you're turning right. So he's just done that. It's lifted the inside wheels and it's shot him into the barrier. As we watch Kevin Henderson, he's got it all wrong at the final corner. Perhaps gone a bit wide and hit the barrier. That would be my bet as to how he's ended up on the inside there. And I think Waffles and Bits wins the award for comment of the race with No Michael No, obviously a reference to the Toto Wolff car that we saw going up a little bit earlier. This is your lead battle. 6 cars involved in that, and Ben Faulkner doing his best to no longer be involved in that, but just about managing to get back a hold of the car before it went off the track. You saw him having a large slide there. Look at all the cars lifting their inside wheel as they go through those corners. We're now going to go to a replay. This is the first lap. They're heading towards the sweeper, which is a real fast left-hander. 2 wide is very brave. Anthony Adshead gets a swapper on and it sends him into the barrier. Not much you can do about that. Really tricky corner. I think everyone going through there 2 wide was very brave. You can really only do that on the first lap. It is far too sketchy to do that after the first lap. Oh, there's another crash here. So this is a replay of how Stuart Ellis went off. And Jason Close was just in the foreground before Stuart Ellis went off. What have we got here? This is Brock Kelly. So he's making a move. So the Panic Sonic entry just loses it by himself. He collects a couple of other cars, and then Stuart Ellis. Generously, we could say that he's lost it trying to take a tight line to avoid the little bit of carnage ahead. But he also may have done that anyway. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And here's Henderson. So he gets wide. Oh no, he's just trying to... He realises he's going to hit the wall. He tries to put on a little bit more left hand down by the looks of it. And it's just more than the rear tyres can handle. That's him spinning to the inside. We've got Sean Rees. Looks like he's defending from Phil King. Phil King, a big mover in this race. He's up 11. He's the biggest mover so far. Starting in 28th place, up to 17th. He'll be pretty happy with that. And he's got Stuart Rees in front of him. He's also a big mover. He's up 8 spots from 24th to 16th. He's got Sam Chapman. He has been one of the stars of the series, constantly in the top 10. Struggling at this very difficult track. He's down to 13th currently. So having started in 9th, so he's down 4 places from his starting grid slot. We'll now come back to John Merritt, and you're just looking at that gap between John Merritt and Jeff Connell versus that gap from Merritt to everyone behind him. Merritt looks like the cork in the bottle. He's got both Whitakers right behind him. Brendan ahead of Chris, so Brendan in the green, Chris in the yellow, as it has been all season long. And then behind them, you've got Reese Gosner and Ben Faulkner hanging on to this group as well. All those cars are within half a second, but John Merritt is almost a second behind Jeff Connell. So this is helping Jeff Connell out in his quest for the championship and really hurting Whitaker, who is his main rival. So look how he takes this corner. Lovely. So that is a mono corner. He's just gone through, now heading to the dogleg. See, that camera angle really highlights the slope that you've got there, which just makes that the left-hand part of that chicane blind and makes it really difficult. This is a long uphill left-hand line. You're looking to get on the throttle as early as possible and get yourself as close to that wall, because if you're not close to that wall, that means you could have gotten the throttle earlier, and that is speed you're giving up down this long straight into the sweeper. Let's hear what it does on the throttle into the sweeper. So it's off throttle. You can see the brake lights ahead from Brendan Whitaker, so they're going off the throttle on the straight, just off throttle through the first part of the sweeper, and then hard on the brakes for the corner, get it nice and turned in. Here's another really difficult corner. You need to take a late apex here. It's tighter than it looks, and it tightens as you go around the corner. Really tricky. It's not fully blind, but you can't really see the exit as you're entering the corner. It can make it quite tricky as they go over Yokohama Bridge. Another tricky corner. You're trying to carry as much speed as you can through there, and then just dab of brakes, get the car turned into this right-hander. As much speed as you can carry without hitting the grass to the left, because that can upset your car. Oh, he's just hit the curb there. Oh, he's done so well to recover that. You just saw he hit the curb on the right side, might have got a little slice of grass as well. That unsettled the car because you're trying to brake and you got a little bit of left hand down, so you can get nice and tight all over the curb for the next one. It's just sent him into a bit of a spin. He's slammed on the brakes, managed to get it straightened up, stop it from spinning anymore, stopped it from returning, and just got back on with the job. But that has put him at the back of the group behind Reese Gosner, behind Ben Faulkner, and now there is a gap of 1.7 seconds from Reese Gosner in 4th to Brendan Whitaker in 3rd. As we're just going to watch a replay just with Zuno and see what's happened here. So he's just tried to carry too much speed into that corner, and that sent him into a spin, and I believe that is Shao corner that he has spun it. Kurt Chapman got to do the same thing. You can see that inside front right, lifting as they go round the corner because they're just putting on so much lock, and you have got a bit of a slope there, which just puts a bit more weight at the back of the car, which means that that inside right is going to lift. And I think we're seeing with those bumps and the inside right lifting, some cars just getting caught out. And Kevin Henson there, it looked like he got put out. Yeah, he's done it twice. I think he got cut out by the car ahead. It looked from that angle, I couldn't quite see whether he did touch the car ahead, but certainly the car ahead looked very close. We see a replay here. What happened to Chris Whitaker? Nope. We are back to live matches, I believe. So here's Matthew Brunt. He's in 10th spot. He's up 9 places, so that means he started in 19th. Very quick maths there. We've got Stuart Ellis now. We saw him go for a little bit of a spin earlier, and then he was battling with, I believe, Phil King, who's managed to get past him up to 14th place, and now up 14 spots, so having an absolutely belter of a race. I bet it was on board, but fun to watch because he must have made a few overtakes as Jacob Hughes just went off the track, I believe, having gone great on my tracker for a second there, and he's now 9 seconds behind the car ahead. And there's a big gap now between the top 7 and the rest of the field. There's and top 6 from 7th place as well. Brock Kelly is the 7th. He's all on his own. But that's what we're watching now. We're watching Stuart Ellis. He's looking to put the move on Jared Gilbert, who in turn is looking to put the move on Phil King. So you've got Jared Gilbert. He's in the lovely white, pink, multicoloured car. And you've got Stuart Ellis in the black and blue car. Oh, he's going for a move at Coca-Cola. That's brave. It might get it done, though. It's going to put him on the outside, heading to Shell Corner, which is not really where you want to be. But look at how compromised the car on the inside is going to be. He brakes early. Oh, no, he's tried to... He's just got a bit too much right hand down. Bit too heavy on the brakes, potentially over-rotated the car, and that's put him into the white and blue car. But thankfully both cars get away without too much damage. Of course, it means he didn't get the overtake, Jared Gilbert, after initially looking like he had it done. But thankfully it's not cost him anything, and he just slots in behind Stuart Ellis, who now gets his turn to attack Phil King. We now swapped over to Paul Nichols. He was in 8th place earlier. He's lost position to Jacob Hughes. He's in 9th. Crucially, he is ahead of his main rivals for the 10th place in the championship, those being Russell Belcher and Dale Sharp. Dale Sharp, I can't actually see on the entry. Russell Belcher currently in 11th, just 2 spots behind Paul Nichols. There he is in the white and orange car. Oh, Paul Nichols just doing well to avoid the spinning Jacob Hughes there. And just on the inside enough to avoid it. And now he's got Matthew Brunt alongside him. Matthew Brunt on the outside, Paul Nichols on the inside. Matthew Brunt goes for the up and under. Nice attempt. Did get a bit of a better run, but just not enough to make a move before they get to the next right-hander. See, here they go, over Yokohama Bridge. Tricky right-hand, almost touching the grass, but it wouldn't matter because on the inside that wheel is fully unloaded there, so you're not going to really lose any grip. Because you're not going to do anything that inside tyre at that corner. The only worry would be if the curb on the inside unseals it. We're now coming to Jeff Cole. He's got 5 minutes left to do the first part of his job here tonight, which is to wrap up the championship. And even better, his main rival Chris Whitaker's only in 5th place, so he's going to get a bunch of points. 9 by my calculation on Jeff, which would put his lead up to 53 points with a maximum of 60 from the 2 remaining races. So this would be all but job done if Jeff Connell can get the win in this race, and Chris Whitaker can't do anything about his relatively low 5th place. It sounds harsh saying that 5th place is low, but 5th place just isn't enough if he wants to get into this championship fight and take it to Jeff Connell, really put the pressure on, and maybe, just maybe, force him into a mistake that puts his championship in. However, he's now in 6th place as Chris Whitaker, down behind Ben Faulkner, so apologies for the correction there. Oh, Jeff Connell goes off the track, manages to get back on. I'm not even sure he lifted there, which was pretty brave, just judging by the amount that the rear end was scooting out from behind him. Did well to recover and not lose it, but that is the kind of mistake that could cost him. Not take any risks, even if that means letting someone like a John Merritt or a Brendan Whitaker get past if they start putting on the moves. Now watching he's alongside Reese Gosner, and they've got Chris Whitaker just behind them for company. Chris Whitaker trying to decide what horse to bet on as they go through the sweeper. All 3 of them barely separate. Oh! That did not look great from Ben, but it was effective. He's got the overtake done. Looked like he got a bit of a slide on, but he was just carrying more speed in his redressing. Must have been a bit of contact there. And now Chris looking to go up the inside, and he does it. Takes advantage of the redress there with a fantastic opportunistic move, very Alonso-like, seeing an opportunity and taking it, even though that definitely wasn't what Ben would have wanted. He would have wanted just to give up the position to Reese, but in doing so, he's let through Chris. So let's have a look at what happened in this first corner. Ben Faulkner just getting on the brakes later. Yeah, so he taps Reese Gosnell in the behind. Then he gets a tap from Chris for good measure. Sides, he's going to let Reese Gosnell take the position back, which is very sporting. So congratulations, Ben there. That's what we want to see here at the GSRC. If you make a mistake, just redress. Very lovely to see, but it has cost him position to Chris.
He looks like he got the curb in turn 1 there, which is very dangerous on high speed. Just unsettles the car. He's had a little bit of a slide and couldn't quite get enough brake pressure because of the slide.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would explain why he wasn't braking hard enough and hit the behind of Reese Gosnell there. Really, really tricky first corner. Cannot overstate how difficult first corner is in pretty much any car. It is so difficult. With that second corner, Coca-Cola right after it, just getting that mix between how much do I attack the first corner, because there's so much time there if you can carry that more speed, versus the danger of getting that second corner wrong or ending up off track. Really, really difficult. One of the hardest decisions to make is how much you compromise to that first corner safety versus speed. And that will be, I guarantee you, if you look at the lap times, you looked at the sector times for all the cars here tonight, that will be one of the main differentiations between the drivers. It will be that corner, because the risk reward for that corner is so much higher than anywhere else. I agree, it's an absolutely awesome track for these cars. And we come back here again tomorrow night for the TCRs, which is great fun. So the white flag here when John Merritt looking to make the move as they go into the sweeper. He's on the outside. Jeff Connell's got the inside, which you think would be the better position to be. Jeff Connell gets over that curb, does it perfectly, just leaves it up the inside, trying to get back past Merritt. He hasn't got back past, but it looked like it was enough to get him alongside, but instead he's having to defend from Brendan Whitaker. Brendan Whitaker trying to go around the outside. He's not going to make the outside work there. It's just too tight a corner. So Jeff Connell, he's lost first place at the start of the final lap. He's going to try and get that back before the end of the lap. We just saw a car spinning because that's Sam Chapman not having the race he wanted here tonight. But thankfully he's got 2 other bites at the cherry because we have 3 races tonight.
Oh, Johnny Merritt!
Oh! John Merritt! Oh! Gets a huge swap run, does really well to avoid Jeff Connell. Gets back on the track and he'll have to settle for third. It looked like he was going to get the win, but he just lost it just going into about midway through the final lap. Look at the car language from Brendan Whitaker. He's doing everything to try and get past Connell, but it's not going to be enough. Connell, after looking like he lost the win at the start of the final lap, gets it back after a mistake from John Merritt, and he gets the win for round 1 of 3 tonight. With Brendan Whitaker and John Merritt making up the 2 podium positions. 4th place is Reese Gosnell, 5th is Chris Whitaker, and 6th is Ben Faulkner. And then Brock Kelly brings it home for a strong 7th place. And we're just watching Jason Close, he's in 19th. He's got Matt Smitke right ahead of him. He's pushing him around this track. Can he find a way past? He's not going to find a way past there. He's not going to find a way past through this dog leg because it is flat out. However, this final corner definitely an overtaking opportunity if you can get it up the inside, which he does. Takes a lot more speed for the final corner. Smitke tries to do a blunder. Is he going to be enough to get alongside? No, I think Jason Close has got this wrapped up. Just carried too much speed from Matt Smitke there, and he takes home 18th place. Matt Smitke in 19th. Sam Chapman in 20th position. Well, lots of action there for race 1. And because it's the final round, we've got another 2 races for you here tonight. Absolutely excellent. So there you go. There's the confirmation. Jeff Connell takes the win and almost wraps up the championship. Not quite, but he's not far off it. Brendan Whitaker, he comes home 2nd. That'll help him in his quest for 3rd place in the championship. You've then got John Merritt in 3rd place. A strong showing for him. Looked like he might get the win, but just didn't get it right on the final lap. Reese Gosnell finishes in 4th place to keep the pressure on Brendan for that last spot in the top 3 of the championship. Chris Whitaker in 5th. That sees his championship hopes fade. He's going to have to go on for 2 victories here get 2 victories and hope that Jeff Connell mucks up if he's to have any hope of getting the championship from here. So we're just showing you a replay here of the final lap. So here is how Merritt took the lead, going bravely around the outside at the sweeper, holds on to the outside line at Coca-Cola, and makes the move stick.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I go to the warm-up, I lose all my little instant things. I'm just trying to get to the way, see what happened here, how he lost the end here. Here we go.
Yeah, not far away now.
Oh, you just got too much curve. Just try to use the outside curve as a berm, and it's just upsetting.
Just trying to carry too much speed, got it wrong. Did really well to bring it back onto the track safely. Not the first driver to get caught out by Foster's dip, I dare say. Here we are, not far from race 2 of 3 here tonight, but a little bit further on the month, on the 30th, we have got the next installment of the GT3 Endurance Championship coming to you from Red Bull Ring. It's a 6-hour race. We all know Red Bull Ring, it is a slipstream fest. It is a fairly easy track that is going to keep the pack really, really bottled up. There's not going to be much space for error, and we might see some of those cars that are just a bit detached from the championship leaders able to stay in the hunt at a track where slipstream gives you so much help. That is going to be an absolute cracker. And if you're interested in racing in that, there are still spots open in the championship, so just get on the Discord and get your team in for the 6 hours of Red Bull Ring before we go to the 4 hours of Atlanta and then the 8 hours of Bathurst to wrap up the season in June. Here is your grid for race 2. We've got Russell Belcher, he takes pole position for race 2 with Matthew Brunt alongside him. And then got Paul Nichols, he starts in 3rd place with Brock Kelly in 4th. Faulkner's in 5th with Chris Whitaker in 6th. Reece Gosner 7th, Merritt 8th, Brendan Whitaker 9th, and your winner from race 1, Connell, starts in 10th position. You then got Hooper in 11th, just missed out on reverse grid pole, so he'll be disappointed with that. Stuart Ellis in 12th, Jacob Hughes in 13th, and Phil King in 14th, Grundy in 15th, Reese in 16th. Latter and Close make up the 9th row with Smitke and Chapman on the 10th.
So this reverse grid is going to be very interesting here because it's going to be very hard to pass for in this track. So it could be interesting trying to watch these leaders get back through.
It is going to be interesting, and it just raises the jeopardy for those with things still to fight for in this championship. Not a great start from Russell Belcher. Looks like Matthew Brunt might get him up the inside. Paul Nichols got an alright start, but the best start goes to potentially Chris Whitaker. He's got an absolute blinder. He might take 3rd position going to first corner. Oh, it's tight. There's some door-to-door rubbing between him and Ben Faulkner, neither wanting to give an inch, both knowing that this first corner is going to be crucial. That's brave. Paul Nichols, he goes off. He's sliding. He takes out Chris, takes out Faulkner. Belcher's on the outside as well. He's got caught up in that, but he's managed to keep it on the black stuff. He's just slowed him down a lot. Oh, that is not what Paul needed, but he's managed to get back on the track without losing too much. He's in 8th position. We've got Russell Belcher. He's alright in 7th. The big loser out of all that seems to be Whitaker, who is finding himself fairly far down the order. Down in 30th, so last, so he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to keep his slim championship hopes alive. And if he doesn't get, if he gets no score, it might just bring his brother back into the fight for 2nd in the championship. And Stan Chapman continuing his poor race here tonight. Let's be frank. And finally again, Belcher, he gets turned around. I think there might have been touch there. Oh, he's hit Paul Nichols. 2nd time they've made contact this race. He takes out another driver, which I think is Jacob Hughes. Oh, there's more. He's in the middle of the track trying to get off. It's just an absolute lottery for who's got through there. Unscathed. A few drivers getting caught out. Not what you want to see. A car in the middle of the track in a narrow track, still spinning, still trying to figure out how he gets out of the way and gets off the track. And other cars just trying to avoid them and having their own incidents as well. We're now looking at John Merritt. He's in 3rd place. He's up 5 positions. Jeff Cummel and Stuart Ellis up in 6th. So they were some of your best performers from the last race. And they're continuing that battle. Gosner, Merritt, Whitaker, fighting here. So I don't know if it's the exit of Foster's dip. Go over. Yeah. Let's have a look. Merritt here staying well off that curve. He's learned his lesson. Not to touch the outside the curve there as you go into the dip. A bit wide there. That's not ideal, but he'll get away with it. It is going to put Whittaker right up behind him, basically pushing him. Oh, Whittaker's lost it! Oh, and he spins in front of Connell, but thankfully he was actually directly in front of Connell, so Connor didn't get any side impact and just had an impact on the front, which meant he was able to keep his car straight, and he just doesn't wait for the car of Whittaker to keep sliding and basically get out from in front of him. Well, I slowed him down, but it hasn't hurt him too much. We're now watching Kevin Henson trying to go side by side, does so successfully, but doesn't get the position from Matt Bailey. Matt Bailey was on the inside. Let's have a look what Matt Bailey does. Matt Bailey is in the black car, and then FedEx entry is, of course, Hendo. So let's look at what Hendo does here. He's going to have to slot him behind because he's not near the person to make a move. Braking mid-corner there from the car ahead of Hendo, which is Matt Bailey. Unsettling the car, really making that second corner hard for himself, but does well to stop it and get it round without too much of an issue. He's now looking at the inside of what I believe is Smitke. And puts on a nice move that's going to give him the inside here, which he should be able to hold on and finalise the overtake, and indeed he does. And it looks like he's actually put him into a position to attack Wayne Edwards ahead. Could it be 3 positions? In a few corners. Oh, Smitke goes off! Not too much drama there, didn't find any walls. He'll be able to rejoin, but he's going to lose a heap of positions before he gets back on track. We now cut to Wayne Edwards and Hendo. And now back to the battle at the front. Matthew Brunt still leads his field. He started in second. We've got to think he's going to be feeling the pressure from Gosner and Merritt behind 2 of the fastest in this category at the GSRC. And I dare say, in Australia. Merritt going for the overtake into Coca-Cola. That's brave. Is it brilliant? Looks like it's brilliant as well. But he's got the outside line for the next corner. That's going to be really difficult to get through. Yeah, he can't make the overtake stick through Shell, and actually it's given Rhys Gosner an opening because the next corner is also a right-hander. This is his champion curve, and he gets the move done. And talking about champions, we've got Jeff Connell, the champion in waiting, looking to make a move on Merritt, and he also gets past. So that what looked like brilliant overtake Coca-Cola corner, because he then had to get out of it at Shell, meant he lost too much momentum, and it actually put him on the outside and allowed Rhys Gosner and Jeff Connell both to get through, and he's got work to do. However, we have seen him able to overtake Connell in the first race. However, can he do it again, and can he make it stick this time round? Look how close he got to that wall. No space there, no sunlight getting through there, and yet no damage on his car. You cannot get any closer without danger. Oh, big move here into Coca-Cola from Rhys Gosner. Looks like he's more ahead than we saw John Merritt on the previous lap, and he's got the move done. Rhys Gosner looking to follow him through, but that's going to put him on the outside. Is he going to make the same mistake that John Merritt made last lap? No, because he is going to outbrake the car on the inside. Matthew Brunt, I think, decided just to get out of it there. Decided he didn't want any part of that, didn't want to risk hitting the championship leader, and just getting on the brakes and letting him through. And now he's got Merritt looking to follow him past. And that is the chaos that Connell saw on the first lap. And look how he kept his head. Just broke a bit more. Got all the speed off. Made it easy for himself to get to the inside. Went through the inside. And reaped the rewards. And that's why when you come across yellow flags, you slow down in iRacing. Oh! So you actually helped him round there. A touch in the back. That was what unsettled Whittaker's car and put him into that spin. So Connell very lucky to get away with that. I wonder if the stewards will have something to say about that, because he definitely helped him round there. Now looking at Merritt, he's attacking Gosner. Cole is in the lead of the race. 2 from 2. Matthew Brunt looking to get back onto the podium positions. He's going to have a hard time trying to get past Merritt though. Merritt looked like he could win the previous race. Just getting it wrong on the final lap and giving up the win to Jeff Connell. Rhys Gosner, he's been strong around this track. Got all the pace of Connell and Merritt, and looking to capitalise on that and take home a podium. 7 minutes into this 25-minute race. Does that mean I was wrong about there being 3 races?
Yeah, there's only 2 races in the 86s.
I thought it was free for the final round. Is it only free for the Porsche Cup?
It's only a Super Street
Yes,
for Porsche
right.
Cup.
Apologies, that's my mistake there. You blame my research guy, which is me. Messages to me at Discord, which is what. Oh, no. Neither car wanting to give up. Cars getting interlocked, and I believe both cars out of the race. One of those cars has continued, and I don't think the stewards will be too impressed with that behaviour. Let's have a look at what happens here. Shapes up for the inside through the sweeper. And no, if anything, he's coming under pressure from the car behind, which is Hendo. Try and go behind. But look from the body language, you can tell he's got more confidence in the car ahead. And that usually means more speed. So we're watching Jared Gilbert here. Let's have a look at replay.
Right. Well, it's SDK's doing that glitchy thing where it's falling behind again.
Right. A few production issues here. Merritt's just overtaking Gosner for second place. Jeff Connell pointing in the fastest lap of the race. He's going absolutely cracking pace, 1 minute 13.6. That's half a second faster, pretty much than anybody else. And even then, it's only John Mellors anywhere close to him in second. Reece Gosner, he's down 14.5, so he's about a second behind. Matthew Brunt, similar. Then others are 1.5 or more seconds behind. But it just shows you the class and the speed that Jeff Connell is showing here tonight. Paul Nichols, he's trying to recover from an error strike in the first lap. He's in 11th place, which he'll be pretty happy with, because I don't believe any of his rivals, his closest rivals at least, are ahead of him, because Russell Belcher is down in 24th place. Dale Sharp's not here tonight, and there's a few others that are a bit farther down that are 17 points off him that could pose an issue if he was to, say, get a no score. But in 11th place, I dare say he's looking like he's going to wrap up that 10th place in the championship with his performance here tonight. Now cutting to John Merritt, he's in second place, taking that corner absolutely beautifully, leaving himself a bit of a margin to the wall, which tells you he's not pushing to try and catch Jeff Connell at the moment. He's settled in. He's looking to make sure of second place and not throw it away. Reece Gosner will do everything he can to turn that second into third, and to turn his third into second. You see the back end there. It looked like it was a bit sharp on turning. Yeah, you can see he's not carried the speed out of that corner that Reece Gosner has, who kept the car much more settled through there. It's not enough to get him the overtake, but he will fancy that position in the future. As we see one of the back markers there, Matt Bailey going off the track, wasn't Jeff Connell, which is why I didn't immediately panic and start screaming. It was a back marker that you saw going off in the background. Staying off the curb. Getting onto that second curb though, because you need to get on that second curb if you want to carry the speed before you slow the car down for mono. Just clipping the curb on the outside there. Is that a Guffer Steiner that Brock Kelly's got on this car?
Yeah.
It is. How have I only just recognised that? Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Haas team principal, and perhaps the most popular sweary guy in F1. Just seeing in the background Brendan Whitaker trying to get involved in this battle. He's got some time making. He's 1.6 seconds behind Stuart Ellis, but if he can make that time up, he'll be in this battle pack, which is for 4th, 5th and 6th, with Matthew Brook in the black car ahead. You then got Brock Kelly in the black cars / Gunther Steiner liveried car in the middle, and Stuart Ellis in 6th in the black and blue car. Brock Kelly looking like the most aggressive of this bunch here. You just see, got a bit of a swabble on, almost hit the car on the inside. It looked like he was shaping up for a move on Matthew Brunt, but just getting the car unsettled. had to calm it down, but you can just look, you can just see he's just holding a bit of tight line and carrying a bit more speed. Just tells you he's got more speed than Matthew Brunton ahead, but he's got to find a way past around a very difficult, very challenging Oran Park circuit. Ooh, cuts it tighter across the chicane there, and that gives him the inside for the final corner, Recaro, and he makes sure he's in his own. Will there be a rebuttal at the sweeper? Matthew Brunton's right behind him, he pulls out to the outside. Not seeing many moves around the outside of the sweeper work. In fact, he's given up the inside to Sean Rees, who goes through. Looked like he wanted to come back up the inside of Sean Rees, but Sean Rees just carrying far too much speed for him. So Sean Rees makes a decision, and now Matthew Brunton is going to come under pressure from Brendan Whitaker. Brendan Whitaker not close enough to make the overtake into Shell, but he's setting himself up for perhaps a move at Recaro later on in this lap. Ahead of them, Stuart Ellis will look to make a break with Brock Kelly and just try and drop these two before Whitaker can get through, because we all know how fast the Whitakers are around any track in a GR86. Just come around mono, they'll go for the dog leg. Look at him, cut it close to the inside, trying to do the same as what we saw last lap. He does get up the inside, gets the speed off. Has he got the move done? Oh, has Matthew Brunt been able to carry enough speed around the outside to get ahead going into sweeper? If he's not ahead going into sweeper, you can't imagine he's going to make the position on the outside. And no, he tucks in behind Whitaker. And I don't think he's going to get enough of a slipstream effect to go up the inside here. So sweeper. So at the sweeper, nothing happening. Whitaker keeps hold of the position. That's his now. I don't think Matthew Brunt's going to be able to get past him, and instead Brendan's going to have to go chase Brock Kelly and Stuart Ellis for 4th and 5th place. He's got plenty of time to do it. Still 10 minutes of this race remaining, but it's not easy to make any sort of overtake around here. And Kelly and Ellis are showing plenty of speed. A 1 minute 14.24 last lap. They are slower than the leaders by about 3/4 of a second, maybe half a second. That's a bit harsh. So let's say half a second slower than the leaders. But Brendan Whitaker has not shown that sort of pace on his last lap. Of course, he's been in traffic, so we'll have to see what he can do in cleaner air. And there's not much of a difference between their best laps this race. So I don't think Whitaker's got that much more outright speed, but can he get there through consistency? Or will Brock Kelly and Stuart Ellis cap off a strong showing in the feature race by keeping Whitaker behind him and finishing in 4th and 5th? Big movers in this race. Jason Close, he's up 10 spots. So he started 18th, he's up to 8th. He'll be really, really happy with that. He is in with a shot at the podium positions, but he's got to beat Brendan Whitaker to get there. Brendan Whitaker got a good result in round 1, and Jason Close behind him in round 2, as is. However, Reece Gosnett is ahead of him. Reece Gosnett is 4 positions ahead of Whitaker. And Gosnett is only 3 points behind Brendan Whitaker going into this round. He might just be doing enough to take that final position on the podium for the championship. I'll have to wait for our wizard behind the scenes, Adam Lavis, to bring up the final championship standings before I make any predictions about who's ahead between Gosnett and Whitaker. Oh, we're seeing a move in the foreground there. So that's John Merritt getting past Belcher. Belcher a lapped car now. Is Belcher trying to go back to the inside? That'd be brave on a car that's just overlapped you. You'll want to make sure you do it safely. No, deciding to tuck back in behind. Best thing you can do now is follow Merritt, try and learn where Merritt is faster and build his own lap speed, improve even his own lap times that way. As I'm watching Brock Kelly under pressure from Stuart Ellis, it looked like he was showing maybe for the inside, but Brock Kelly had it covered. Both using all of the outside curve and more coming off that corner, which shows you how hard they are pushing. And then you've got Whitaker just hanging in there behind, waiting to see what happens between these two. Steiner turns into the corner. It's blind going up to that bridge, and you cannot see that really fast right hand that they're going around now as you go over it. So you kind of go over the lip and turn it and hope that you've got the angle right. and that you've scubbed off just the right amount of speed to be able to make the corner, really, really turn any more than you need to, because that will put you onto the grass if you try and take it full throttle and you get your angle wrong. Looked like there Stuart Ellis wants to go at the inside, but Brock Kelly not moving, currying the inside line, and Stuart Ellis just having to dive out a bit to the outside to make sure he didn't go with the backside of Brock Kelly. And it's compromised both of their speeds off that corner, which is giving Whitaker an invitation to try and get involved, but you're just not going to do it at the sweeper. But can he dive down the inside of Coca-Cola? He does so. Can he carry more speed than Ellis? Yes, he's going to get that done. We've seen it a few times that if you can hang it around the outside of Coca-Cola, you can fight back at Shell, but not happening this time. Whitaker gets the position, and that puts him into 5th place. Watching a battle there between Kurt Chapman and Zach Nickel. Zach Nickel, the biggest mover in this race. He's up 18 spots from 29th to 11th. So if you want to go back and watch an onboard with your saved replays, he's the one to watch, because he has been putting on moves left, right, and centre. And of course, taking advantage of some of the cars, having a little less luck than he tonight. But he's keeping it on the black stuff, so he deserves every spot that he gets. We're now looking at Brendan Soper. He's up 12 places to 21st in the field. So he's having a strong race. And he was just having a little bit of a battle with Russell Belcher there. Behind them is this battle pack 4-4. Brock Kelly, Brendan Whitaker, Stuart Ellis. Brock Kelly ahead, but you can see Whitaker looked like he carried a bit more speed off the final corner. Then he's got the slipstream, and that's put him right behind him. He's not going to go up the inside into Coca-Cola this time round. But can he stay close enough to set up a move perhaps into Recaro, the final corner of the track, as we've seen him do a couple of times already here tonight. And I'll break. Go up onto Yokohama Bridge. You can just see how blind it is. And then you turn. You hope you get it right. You get on the throttle as early as you can, bring it all the way to the outside, and you put a little dab of brakes just to help you get it turned into Foster's dip, all over this curve on the left-hand side. Get as wide as you can on the right. Cut this corner as much as possible. Get on the throttle early. Beautiful there from Brendan, doing everything that I was hoping he would do to show you how to go through those corners quick. Look how much he cuts that corner to make sure he doesn't hit the grass on the outside. Gives a nice tight through here. That's where he got that black mark on the curve there. People running the tyres over there. Try to keep it tight there so that you can get on the accelerator as early as possible. Pushes your car out wide towards that wall without hitting it, and carry as much speed as you can down here into the sweeper. Let's listen to the engine revs. Listen how late he got off the revs compared to I can't remember who we were on board with earlier. Earlier on we were on board with car, and they got off the accelerator quite a bit early and just coasted through. That time you could see Brendan Whitaker kept it on the accelerator as long as he did, and then actually got on a little bit of brakes into that first corner. I think more so you could feel the brakes and feel what grip was there, more than actually trying to slow the car down too much, so that he could get onto the brakes as early as he can for Coca-Cola. And it's not just a case of slamming on the brakes. You've got to feel the brakes, feel how much grip you've got at the back end, feel how much steering lock you've got on, and just feed it in at the correct amount. Because if you feed it in too slowly, you're not going to brake hard enough, and you're going to go wide at Coca-Cola. But if you put too much brake on too early, you're going to upset the rear end and you're going to go spinning there instead. So it's just a fine, delicate balancing act between the steering wheel.
Smitky's
and I think that was Smitky in the wall, just getting it wrong at the final corner. Yes, we're trying to foot now. And you're just doing that balancing act, trying to get off the steering, get the car straight, get the rear end settled, and as you're doing that, increase the brake as much as you dare at every single moment so that you can get it slowed down for Coca-Cola. See what happened here. Not a great line through there, gets it on the grass. See what I was saying about having to cut that inside curb? He didn't cut the inside curb, he got it all wrong. He kept on the accelerator, that put him wide into the grass, and then he's lost it. Really easy to do. Definitely not looking to criticise him there. That is such a difficult corner. This whole track is really difficult, and it is so punishing. I'm not surprised that there are a lot of cars not on the lead lap. Only the top 19 currently on the lead lap, because there is a lot of time to be gained and lost around most of the corners around here. The risk reward is greater for most corners than at most circuits. So you're going to see a lot of cars losing time because they're trying to play it safe, and then the cars that try to carry a bit more speed, try and go faster, going off. Some cars that haven't got off are Gosner, Kelly, and Whitaker here. They're driving beautifully at the moment. Not much to pick between the three of them. We've seen their positions change, but none of them have been able to break away from the others like you normally see when a car has an obvious pace advantage. I think Brendan Whitaker here might look to set up, so he's showing his nose, got the inside here at the sweeper. That's out of it, worried about a collision. You can see what he wanted to do there was really set himself up for a move at Coca-Cola corner, but looks like he's going to get it done anyway. No, because he's on the outside here. Oh, free wide. Good job from Belcher there to get out of the way of this leading pack. Of course, he was getting overlapped there by these cars. He's doing a really good job to stay out of the way. Was free wide, but he made it very clear he's staying on the outside. Oh, is he going to force his way over Yamaha? That's really brave. No, he's not going to get it done there. Really good racing between two of them. Brock Kelly winning out this time in the battle, but this battle is going to rage for the last 2 laps because we've only got 1 minute 25 of this race left to go. Jeez, that's flown by, hasn't it? You see Whitaker there, just having a little bit of a look at the inside and then coming back in behind.
There'll be 2 laps to go because Jeff crossed the line, I believe, before we got to the white flag.
There you go, 2 laps to go.
So almost all the overtimes.
Almost all of the overtimes, yeah. That's what we like to see, as much racing as we can get here on a Wednesday night. Oh, he's going to go for it up the inside of Coca-Cola. I don't think they touch it. They do touch it. They got away with it. It's perfectly side by side. He's going to keep it in though. He's not going to give up this. Is Brock Kelly. He's going to hold the inside line, make Whitaker go all the way around the outside. Is he going to get it done? Goes onto the curb, doesn't touch the grass, which is really important. Does a really good job there. And tucks him behind him for the approach up to Yamaha Bridge. He's not going to get past there, so he's going to have to tuck him behind. Going into Foster's dip. Not going to go on the inside there. Far too dangerous. Next overtaking opportunity is going to be Reese corner, unless there is a obvious mistake. So let's see how well both of these, all 3 of these cars, because Stuart Ellis is definitely in this fight still. Get over here, they all take it flat out, all nice and over that left-hand side curb. We got the lap traffic there in the way. Oh, that's really hurt him. That's really hurt Brock Kelly. Brock Kelly punts him out of the way. Stuart Ellis spins trying to avoid. Ugh. Belcher manages to get through. There was another car that just managed to get through as well. Stuart Ellis, really hard luck there. He's lost a couple of positions to Jason Close and Matthew Brunt. Jason Close was the other car we saw getting through there. Feeling really sorry for him. He did nothing wrong there. It was Brock Kelly actually who got into the back of the back marker. Don't know if the back marker just didn't know they were there or didn't care. So he got into the back of him, caused a spin. Oh, Whitaker just nudging him, trying to get through there. I don't think the stewards would be particularly happy with that, but he didn't make the overtake, so he might get away with it, given that Brock Kelly was touched but wasn't harmed too much in any way. And here we've got some side-by-side action. Zach Nickel in there, as is Paul Nichols in the Subaru car. And we've come back to Jeff Connell taking the checkered flag, wrapping up the championship with a double victory in the final round. Jeff Connell, you are the champion of the 2023 Season A GR86 Challenge. John Merritt brings it home in second. That's 2 second places in 2 races. 2 podiums in 2 races. And that's Reese Gosner. He rounds out the podium in 3rd with a really strong drive that might just have gotten 3rd place in the championship over Brendan Whitaker. Brock Kelly finishes in 4th. Brendan Whitaker in 5th. Brock Kelly winning that battle might just have cost Brendan a podium position in the championship. We'll have to wait for the fairies in the background to give us the championship points. We then got Jason Close in 6th, Matthew Brunt in 7th, Stuart Ellis in 8th, Sean Reese in 9th, Kurt Chapman brings it home in 10th, just holding off Zach Nickel, and then Paul Nichols brings it home in 11th, which I believe will wrap up 10th place in the championship for him, and he'll be very, very happy with that indeed. Action-packed couple of races to finish off the championship. Jeff Connell, sublime, deserved champion. Rare to see a race where he wasn't battling for the victory. Didn't always get the victory, had a couple of incidents, but overall, brilliant, and the championship table reflects that. congratulations again. You are the champion, and we see the champion doing some fantastic donuts to celebrate. So we'll start now talking to the drivers that took part in the race and just get some of their stories, and hopefully we'll be joined by some of our championship protagonists to get their thoughts on the entirety of the season. We'll start off by talking to Matt Smitke. Matt, how was your race?
I wish I had good news for you, but yet again, I've had a couple of mishaps myself, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. So we'll just read out the final finishing order for the race. We had Jeff Connell taking the victory, 2 victories here tonight. John Merritt, 2 podiums. He finishes in 2nd place. Reece Gosner rounds out the podium in 3rd, taking home 24 important points. Brendan Whitaker finishes in 4th place, so he's got a position from a time penalty somewhere. That might be crucial for 3rd place in the championship. Jason Close then brings it home in 5th, Matthew Brunt in 6th, Stuart Ellis in 7th, Sean Rees in 8th, Kurt Chapman in 9th, Zach Nicol in 10th.
Did Brock Kelly's dropped back?
It is Brock Kelly that's dropped back, you're absolutely right. Paul Nichols in 11th. I think that wraps up a top 10 position for him in the championship. Jonathan Hooper in 12th, Dom Grundy in 13th, Brock Kelly in 14th after finishing 4th across the line. So he's been given a nasty penalty for some reason. We'll have to see if we can get the story there.
Slow down, but I'm not.
That would be my guess, as it's been automatically applied by iRacing. Perhaps cutting the chicane. Does that give you a 1x down across here?
Yeah, that one before the last corner. If you go a bit too far left, I reckon it gives you 1.
Yeah, so that might be what we saw. Might be the story there. So, why do you think there were a few errors tonight? It's just because the track's very tricky?
Yeah, that right-hander onto the bridge, there's that nasty bump right where you're trying to brake and turn. And that's where I stuffed it up in the first race. I wasn't doing too bad. But yeah, I stuffed that up and then dropped back and then kind of cruised around on my own till the end of that one.
Yeah, it's so easy to do around here, isn't it? You can't switch off for a moment, and you can't get... It almost feels like you can't make even a small mistake at any of the corners because they're all so punishing.
Yeah, exactly. I think I want to watch this. This is the start of the second race. I reckon me and Jason went side by side. Well, I think a little bit after, because there's this carnage and they'll check up, and then we went side by side for 3 or 4 corners. It would seem like some decent driving for once.
Certainly side by side for that corner. Oh, for once. Don't be too harsh on yourself. I've seen you do plenty of good driving at the GSRC, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come.
Yeah, there we go. And then so see, this is where I lost it in the first race. I just stuffed up, and yeah, we're side by side all the way through here.
Are you side by side through the dip? Because that's brave if you are.
The next corner is where he just got a bit of a better run because I was a little bit compromised, and we're kind of side by side. Then the next one, he just pulls in front. I think I backed off a little bit because I knew this wasn't going to go well if we tried side by side. Yeah,
Just not getting away with that.
Yeah, I saw that car. I thought he'd stopped and I was going to go left, and then he started rolling backwards. So I'm like, oh crap, I got to go right, but I just didn't quite get over enough.
Overall, a pretty tidy first lap with some good wheel-to-wheel racing, though.
Yeah, it was good fun. And then, yeah, I got a meatball from that. The car felt alright. It, like, had a little bit of right hand down, but I would have thought I could have kept going, but I got a meatball. And then, yeah, I did a couple more laps, and then I accidentally spun coming off the bridge trying to let some people past. And, yeah, my race just kind of lonely from there on.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't break away. Sometimes it just doesn't go right. Don't worry, I've definitely had many races with a similar story. But we've also seen some highlights from you throughout the season. I'm just going to cross over now to our season champion, Jeff Connell. Jeff, you've got to be pretty pleased to wrap up the championship with 2 victories.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I don't know if I bumped Brendan, I probably didn't deserve that one, but in the dog leg,
you did. You did bump him in the dog leg. We're just going to see that here now.
Yeah, so that was hard there. I thought that I'd left far enough in front, and then he checked up a bit more. So yeah, it's probably my fault, but yeah, overall the year was pretty good. Like most of it was fun. early on, me and Brendan drove into each other on the straight, a bit like Vettel and Webber at Turkey all those years ago, and looked like idiots. But other than that, our lap car took me out last weekend. But that's yeah. Other than a couple of little things, it was pretty good fun racing. So yeah, I enjoy driving these cars. Like they're so slow, and I can barely do a lap of practice in them. They're that boring to drive. But as soon as you get racing people, it's good fun. So yeah, most of it's been good.
Oh, it's pretty good when you end up the champion at the end of it. I think it's hard not to enjoy yourself. But we've definitely seen some fantastic battles between yourself and the Whitakers in particular. A few flashpoints throughout the season. Are just strong racing from all of the drivers. Did you expect to be champion coming into it? Did you think you'd be fighting for the championship? It sounds like it's not a car that you main, so to speak.
Yeah, I hadn't really driven it before. I'd done one like fun race in it, and then first round went alright, and I wasn't planning on doing the whole thing, but got a few rounds in, and yeah, a few people got me more motivated to win it. So thanks to them, I stuck around, and but yeah, no, I had heaps of fun as well. So yeah, they're fun cars to race. Fixed setup is the best thing. Like you don't have to do practice. You just jump in on the night, and you know, if you're off at the start of the night, you know, it's your fault because everyone's at the same setup. So you try and learn as you go, and that's what makes it such fun racing. So yeah, I love the fixed setup stuff. I don't have the time to stuff around with my own setup. So this sort of racing is perfect.
Yeah, it removes the temptation to go, oh, it must be the setup. That's why they're faster than me. When it's fixed setup, you can only really look at yourself and go, oh, I'm not doing something right if I'm not as quick as the other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like tonight's a good example. I fluked a quali lap, but struggled practice, and then in the first race, it was obvious John was better than me through turns 1 and 2. So I was able to adapt that a bit, and then go a few tenths faster in the next race. So it's a good example of fixed setup, and you know, it's always on you. And yeah, there are heaps of races with good close battles, like Road America. Even though our quali got stuffed up, there was good battles there. Red Bull Ring was awesome. Like both races, everyone had so much fun in the top 10 battling each other. And then we went to another American track. I can't even remember the name a few weeks ago. There was heaps of drafting and battles there that everyone loved as well. So yeah, hopefully they keep the fixed setup. And
That would be Long Beach you were referring to? The American track?
No, I wasn't there. It was one where we had heaps. Was it US Raceway or...
Canadian Motorsport Park?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's...
the one with all the long corners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, so the battles there were so awesome as well, and the fixed setup definitely helped that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Congratulations again on becoming champion. We will cut back to you for some final thoughts before we take a break and bring the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup final round to everyone here tonight. But before we do either of those things, we're going to talk to the other drivers we got here with us in the commentary box. Quite a few here at the final round. I think Kurt Chapman was first in the box. I think he just beat you, Chris, to the box. So we'll cut over to Kurt first. Kurt, how was your race?
Race 1 was a bit dodgy. I started 23rd and somehow went backwards. And then second race started P25 and made my way up to 10 somehow. Trying to keep it clean and out the way of everyone else.
I think it's such a tricky track. Keeping it clean will get you quite a few positions, but I dare say there were a couple of overtakes in there as well to get quite so many, 15 positions. That's a fantastic effort. Did you change anything in particular between the first and second race, or just it worked out second race and it didn't in the first?
Yeah, it just did not work out in the first race. I got caught up in something at the pit. Car was going to blow up or something. Yeah, and then second race obviously just kept it clean, tried to drive past as many and stick with as many people as I could.
Yeah, you're not the only person to get a meatball in the first race. Matt Smitke, who's here in the comms box with us, also got a meatball in race 1, getting caught up in those first lap incidents. You actually came into the round with a outside chance of getting into the top 10. I don't think you've quite pulled it off, even though you've had a fantastic recovery in the second race to finish in 10th. How do you feel about the season overall?
It was a pretty good season. Like, for someone like me who's not anywhere near as quick as the top like 3, 4. It's really good because if you keep it clean, keep it on track, you'll make spots, and yeah, it'll just work out better in the long run.
There you go. Confirmation that you finished 12th in the end of the championship. That's a pretty good effort because there's a lot of fast guys in that top 10.
Yeah, there is. That's pretty good. Sweet.
Yeah, glad that you're happy with that. Hopefully maybe next season we can push for those extra 2 positions to get you in the top 10. That's got to be the goal, right?
Well, I'll reach my goal of top 15, so top 10's next.
Excellent, fantastic to hear. We'll cross over now to Chris Whitaker. Chris, the runner-up in the championship, almost getting pipped to the post by your brother there in the end. How was the final round? Just didn't quite work out for you, did it?
No, it's I mean, first things first. Congrats to Jeff. Obviously, he's been the benchmark all season, and definitely deserved to win the championship. So, congrats to him. But yeah, tonight it just wasn't my night, mate. It's that simple. It's we had some good pace in practice, and unfortunately, the good pace in practice didn't translate to anything in qualifying, really. And I don't think I did enough practice in the toe behind people, and just couldn't get my head around it. And then race 2 just totally stuffed up into turn 2 and outbroke myself, and then I think I got hit by a flying Subaru or something after the fact, but I shouldn't have been there to start with, so that's my own fault, but and I hit someone else in the process, so apologies to them. But race 2, I mean, good fun coming back through the pack, but the 40-second penalty for cutting the corner and then the toe and all that obviously put us 2 laps down, so it was just a try get whatever points or salvage whatever points we could, because I knew it was going to be pretty close. But I think, what was it, 6 points or 7 points or something to Brendan, and not much more to Reese as well. So the 3 of us didn't do the entire season, or had quite a couple of issues in the early part of it. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming it's going to be back next season to some extent, but I'll reiterate with what Jeff said before, that the fixed set's really the way to go. I think it still needs some tweaks, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It needs a bit more turn, in my opinion, but and try to settle the bum down a little bit on the cold tyre. But for the most part, it's not too bad. But the fixed set in these slower cars is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Fixed setup in these cars. We've had more people comment that that's the way to go, and they enjoy it. And part of the reason they're able to race it is because it's fixed setup, so you can get in, do the practice, and that's enough for the top level drivers to get up to speed particularly with circuits that they already know and have raced in other categories. Throughout the season, you had some really good battles with Jeff Connell, with Brendan Whitaker, with Reese. Hoping to see more of those next season. You just about held on to beat Brendan overall. Do you think that top 4 is about right in the end? I know you said Jeff Connell's the deserving champion. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. He's been phenomenal all season. But it's so close between you, Brendan, and Reese. Could you see a different order between the 3 of you next season?
Oh, I hope not. I hope there's a different order between myself and Jeff, I'll tell you that much. But no, assuming us all, and Jason as well. Jason had some real moments where he shone through there as well.
Did, yes.
Probably just not quite consistent enough on across all the tracks. But I think that top 5 is really pretty. If we're all back next season, again, assuming they're going to do 86s again, but hey, with the field of 32 in the finale, you've got to do it. I can see the 5 of us, if we're all back here again for next season, all battling, and it'll be on like DK. There won't be any of this skip first round, and we'll just see where we land. It'll be head down, bum up, straight into it. But I can also see my brother-in-law Anthony Adstead, who joined halfway through the season, or only a couple of rounds back. He's come on leaps and bounds as well. Now that he's got his new pedals and wheel, and I can see a top 10 sneaking up for him pretty soon as well. So he's just got to keep himself a bit more calm in the heat of battle, and he's certainly got the pace to get himself in there. Just needs to make it happen, but he'll get there, and it won't be too long before he's up here with us as well.
Well, that'd be great to see hopefully another driver that can break into that top 5. Like you said, we've neglected to mention Jason, but he's definitely been a feature in that top 5 throughout the season. Those 5, just a step above the rest of the field. It'd be great if we could make that 5 a 7, an 8, or a 10 even. Just imagine the racing we'd get. And talking about that 5, 7, 8, at the top of it was Jeff Connell. Congratulations again on becoming champion. on to the next championship for more trophies, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm doing the Oz Pro Am Sim Series, the GT3s. It's a big fixed setup series, so I'm doing that. And we'll see if and when this comes back. And I probably won't do the whole thing. It just takes up doing 2 different series. You know, racing 2 nights a week takes up a bit more time. So not sure what I'll do with the next one. If they do a Formula Ford series, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind jumping into that a little bit as well. So if they do it, you'll probably see me here and there. Also,
I can give you a couple of little spoilers for next series if he's real nice.
Yeah.
Love you, Adam.
So Monday is obviously staying the same because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're just sort of locking in which series we're going to on which nights with based on sponsors and conflicting other series and other leagues. But the current plan is for one of them to probably the Tuesday still be the up and comers. And then either the Wednesday or Thursday will either be Formula Ford running into supercars, and then the other night will be a production car series running into the Porsche Cup. And in the production car series, it'll be 5 cars running 2 races each per round. So the plan is at the moment to have these guys in two races, TCR in another 2 races, the Clio Cup in another 2 races, the Mustang, and the MX-5. So basically, it's gonna be like a championship to test your adaptability amongst other cars throughout the season for the Production Car Cup.
That'll be sick.
Oh, yeah. Decisions to make about whether to commentate a race.
Make it Wednesday.
Well, we're just like we were planning on doing the production and the Porsche for Wednesdays and the supercars for Thursdays, but there is another supercar series on a Thursday night, so we're just checking with the Porsche sponsors whether we can flip that around. And so we're just sort of seeing which way we're going to go with those nights. But those are the current penciled-in plans for the actual racing. And then for Friday night for the Wings and Slicks, we're going to use the USF 2000. So basically, like the third tier feeder series into the IndyCar car. So it's a wing car, not too much power, but plenty of grip and downforce, and good fun car to drive.
That thing is so much fun to drive. I have to admit, I was definitely involved in the poll for what car to drive, and when that won, I was very excited, and hopefully a couple of ovals as well.
It's a bit of a sleeper car, but it's probably what the Formula 4 was before it turned up. So it's on a similar level to the Formula 4.
Excellent. So that is what we've got coming to you in the next season of the GSRC. So, with that said, let's wrap up this season of the GR86. Looks like it won't be returning in its current format for next year, but will play a part in that production car series. So, Jeff Connolly, you are the champion, and it looks like you will remain champion at least for another season, as this looks like it will be replaced by the Production Car Cup. Congratulations once again. We're going to thank our sponsors, and then we're going to take a quick break before we bring you the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup final round from Phillip Island. The sponsors for the GSRC in 2023 Season A are Waste Options, Blackout Electrical Solutions, Login Systems, West Orange Motors, Astute Finance, Insurance and Wealth, Fisher Door Lawyers, Flash Graphics. And those are your sponsors for the GSRC in 2023 Season A. If you'd like to become a sponsor for 2023 Season B, if you've just listened to Adam reeling off what we got coming for you next season, and that's whet your appetite to get involved, do get in contact with any of our committee members. Otherwise, if you'd like to support the club and spend a little bit less money, you can, of course, get some merch from the merch store, the link to which is now on your screen. You can get t-shirts, you can get hoodies to prepare for the cold winter months. You can get a bottle opener to help you crack a cold one after you've just got your first podium at the GSRC. Or you can get a stubby holder to put that bottle in. So that's it from the GR86 Challenge for 2023 Season A. I've been your commentator, Liam Banks. It's been a pleasure to bring you this series throughout the last 10 weeks. Producers Adam Lavis working hard behind the scenes, doing a fantastic job. From us and from all of us here at the GSRC, we hope to see you back next season. And hopefully you're not going too far away because we've got the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup coming up next. Welcome back, everyone. We are now live from Phillip Island for the finale of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup. But unlike for the Toyota GSRC.inc, where I kept telling you there were 3 races, but there were only 2, we do actually have 3 races to round off the Porsche Cup Challenge in style. And of course, it's not just one championship we're rounding up, but 2. We got the Elite Championship and we got the Open. Matt Dench is already the champion for the Elite Championship. That's not in doubt, but he'll be looking to round it out with style with 3 wins from 3. However, the Open Championship is very much alive. We've got 3 drivers practically neck and neck. Gallagher is on 423 points, Snadden is on 421, and then Paul Wilson is on 415. The 3 of them will go to battle here tonight across 3 different races for the Open Cup Championship. And these are your elite standing. Yes, there's no battle for the championship. That's been won by Matty Dench. He's been a deserving champion. We've seen that coming from the early rounds. He has been absolutely flawless. However, second is up for grabs. We got Shane Wright on 349, Dylan Shepherd on 326, and Corey Lazarus on 317. A strong night from any of those 3 could see them clinch second in the championship, which, if you're second to Matty Dench, that's no shame in that, and I would count that pretty much as a win because Matty Dench is all but untouchable in these cars. And of course, we've got a very tight championship for the team championship as well. We've got Blackout Motorsport New Zealand there in first with Corey Lazarus and Samuel Sproul. They are 1 point ahead of Team Joan with Ben Croydon and Jono Freeman. Whoever has a better night here tonight will win that battle. And then Matty Dench is just behind them, 590 points. You'd think it's too much for him to win the team championship by himself, but if either of the other teams has a troublesome round, he could just steal it from them. This is your grid for tonight. We've got Corey Lazarus, he's on pole. Andrew Smith takes second place. You then got Kai Ardley and Ben Pedersen on the second row, Ben Croydon and Jaron Knight on the third, Leach and Freeman on the fourth, and then Wright and Sproul in 9th and 10th. Behind them, Rowney is in 11th place. Snadden, he takes pole position for the Open Championship. He needs that if he wants to win the championship here tonight. Dawson is in 13th. He's got Matty Dench alongside him in 14th. Not sure what's happened there. Matty Dench so far down is very, very weird. Brett Barker in 15th. Paul Wilson, he's in 16th. Ramsey is in 17th. Stephen Gallagher in 18th. That is your top 3 for the Open Series, are first, second, and third in their series. Starting tonight. Then you've got Adam Tice, he's in 19th, Callum Heinrich in 20th, Shane Newens in 21st, Latta in 22nd, Stewart in 23rd, and Sagasa in 24th position.
So just FYI, the trading paints is being a bit slow, so they're coming. Just a couple of them are being a bit slow. So if you see some deliveries pop in during the race, they should all pop up shortly, hopefully.
Well, not long for them to pop up before the start of the race. The lights are on, the engines are revving. And they have started the trip down to the perilous Doohan corner. Let's see if they all get through here safely. A few cars in the background are going to try 2x2. Definitely 1x1 is the way to go. Currently, Corey Lazarus, he's got a great start. He holds the lead from Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith is under immediate pressure from Ben Pedersen, who will be eventually in the PGA Tour entry, but currently in the plain white entry while we wait for Trading Paints to load his actual paintwork. They got Kai Ardley in 4th. Shane Wright, he's made 4 places already. He is looking very racy, up from 9th to 5th and looking to make it 4th. Or Kai Ardley getting it wrong, going into the recently renamed Miller corner and just on the outside, outbraking himself. Did well to avoid contact, but that's put him at the back of the field, and he's going to have a tough night if he wants to get into a points paying position before the end of the first race in 15 minutes time. Andrew Smith settles in second. He's managed to hold off the attack from Ben Pedersen for now. Pedersen's in third place. He's got Shane Wright behind him in 4th place. Shane Wright, one of those drivers fighting for second in the championship with Corey Lazarus, who's currently in the lead of this race. Corey Lazarus put himself in pole position for that, although he's got quite a points deficit to Shane Wright. 32 points currently deficit. So if he wants to get that position from Shane Wright in the championship, he's going to have an absolutely stellar 3 races here, but he's doing everything right for the first 1.5 minutes, so definitely a fair while to go yet. We saw Matty Dench. He started in 14th place. He's already up to 9th place. He may just be challenging himself. The championship round has been rounded up. He may have deliberately qualified a bit lower and decided, I'll see what I can do from there and see if I can still get the win. Ah, there you go. He's going for most positions gained tonight, according to David Dench, who has been supporting him and watching with us live throughout most of the season. Thank you very much for your support, David Dench. It's been a pleasure bringing you these broadcasts, and very happy broadcasts for you, cheering for Matty Dench. And we got a investigation between Shane Newens and Stephen Gallagher for contact on lap 1. Gallagher currently in the lead of the championship. That could be devastating, and he is down currently in 21st place behind both of his main rivals. He's behind Wilson, and he is also behind Dane Snadden. Dane Snadden currently up in 11th place, looking to mix it with the top 10 in the elites again here tonight. Let's have a look what's happened here. So Stephen Gallagher, getting just absolutely shunted at Miller Corner. Car on the inside just absolutely outbraked himself and ploughed into him. Gallagher able to rejoin behind another car that had gone off the track. Definitely, I think that'll be a penalty. Not coming Gallagher's way, but to the other car. And we see contact there between Ben Pedersen and Alan Smith, just in the middle of the corner. I think that will be a penalty. We're now watching John Freeman. He's in 5th place, and of course, he is one of the entries fighting for the team championship, with his teammate just 2 cars ahead of him in Ben Croydon. So they're 4th and 5th place now, because he's made the position on Magnus Rowney. Just no holds barred, no compromises there, just plowing through. And then you got Matty Dench. He's already up in 6th place. He's looking to make it 5th. Let's see what he does here. Barreling into Miller Corner. Can he get on the inside? He tries to. There's contact, and John Freeman's gone off the track, as is Magnus Rowney. I think there was 3 wide there. I couldn't really tell from the camera angle the depth of the cars. Looked like somebody was on the inside, causing a bit of havoc there. We'll have to wait and see a replay from a different angle. Let's have a look what happened there. So Magnus Rowney just completely outbraking himself, taking out Freeman.
I think he gets a little touch. He gets a
little touch. Oh, he just gets a touch. Apologies, Magnus. You definitely not your fault there. So you've got a massive shunt from behind.
I think it was Guy Leach.
Guy Leach. Which, yeah, after that you're just a passenger. So Guy Leach looked like he was the guy in the run there.
Looks like Trading Paints is finally playing ball for us, so that's good.
That's excellent. It helps us tell the cars apart. We're now looking at Samuel Sproul. He's up 4 positions from 10th to 6th place, and he's got Guy Leach alongside him, who we just saw perhaps, we think it was him shunting Magnus Rowney off the track, so might be getting a penalty from race control.
And then it's Dane Snadden, the leader of the open split, fighting with these guys. Up here again. He is, I'm pretty sure he may not be an open split driver next season. He's come on leaps and bounds the last few rounds.
I agree. There we go. We've got 10-second time penalty for Shane Newens for contact with Stephen Gallagher on lap 1. Pretty clear cut. And this is not F1. We don't give that much more leeway for lap 1 incidents, I don't believe. And even if there was leeway, that definitely deserved a penalty because it was very clear cut. And I'm sure even the cars involved would agree. Just watching Gordon Ramsay there. He's at the head of the battle pack for everyone looking to get past him. So he's got Snadden, Knight, Barker, and Wilson right behind him. We just mentioned about Snadden and how good he's doing. Battling in the top 10 of the elite guys. Well, Paul Wilson's not far behind. He's in 12th. He's in the same battle pack. I think the two of them may make the trip up to the elites together. You've got 15-second penalty for Andrew Smith, rear contact with Ben Pedersen. We saw that replay a little bit earlier on, just going through what I believe was MG, which is this corner here. So deciding that Andrew Smith definitely at fault there. Usually is if you're the car behind. Snadden just makes a move to 9th place, getting past Bet Barker. So Bet Barker is in the black and white car. He's just ahead of Jared Knight, is in that quite distinctive blue and black car. And then to the left of them, in the blue and white car, is Paul Wilson, who is currently...
Yeah, the chrome cars Baker, the blue and yellow is... And then the white with the orange and blue text is Paul Wilson.
Did that just come in from Trading Paints, or was it always like that?
It was always like that.
Oh, my eyes are just deceiving me.
Oh no!
Apologies.
Big moment.
What's that?
Snadden.
Sudden. Oh no, that's got huge ramifications for the Open Championship. So he is second in the championship currently. He's 2 points behind Gallagher. He's still going to be ahead of Gallagher, so he's rejoined in 17th place. Gallagher is in 19th place. But what that has done is put Paul Wilson in pole position for that Open Split Championship. So he's currently in 12th place, which corresponds to first in the Open. Then got Heinrich in second in the Open, Snadden in third, Tyson fourth, then Gallagher in fifth, Newens in sixth, Ladder in seventh, and McGrath in eighth for the Open Split. Of course, they get their own points. The points aren't shared with the Elite Cup. They get their own classification.
He's just going deep. Just deep.
So he's due.
It's basically Phillip Island 101 to go off at turn 2.
Yeah, the Southern Loop has claimed so many scalps. It just begs you to carry more speed into it. And you just think, I can find more time there, I can find more time there. And then eventually you carry that little bit too much speed in. You can't scrub up enough speed mid-corner, and you end up in the grass. So easy to do. He would not be the only person to do that here tonight.
Hey, you'll never guess who's got that fast lap, though.
Let me guess, is it Matty Dench?
Oh, yeah, did you guess?
Oh, it is Matty Dench. I didn't even... You know what? I didn't even cheat and look at the time on the screen. I just knew it would be Matty Dench. So he's got the best lap, a 1:29.26. 4 tenths quicker than anybody else on track. An investigation on the way between Magnus Rainey and Jono Freeman. We just got that message from Race Control. And a big thanks to Dean Landy, who's in Race Control here for us tonight, doing a fantastic job keeping us up to date.
You gotta give it props to him. He just joined the start of the season and in practice, and then about halfway through the season, he's actually decided to take on the Porsches full time. And he's got to the point now where he's not only giving us the penalties on screen, but even letting us know the ones he's looking at on screen. So he's giving us all the information. So good on him.
Good on him, Dean. You're an absolute chap, mate. Thanks for what you're doing for the club. It is very much appreciated. And yeah, we love it. It's excellent. Nice work. And if you want to emulate Dean and get involved, please just do contact anyone for the committee. We're always after people for race control, after people for commentary, after people for doing broadcasts. Rerun off the backs of our volunteers. And that's what allows us to bring you 5 nights, basically racing every night of the week. So please do get involved and give back to this community if you are so inclined. And we're just watching a replay now of Paul Wilson. He's going very, very slowly. Is he out of the race? He has. He's pulled off. Paul Wilson is out of the race. He was third in the Open Championship.
I
was
wonder.
Leading the two.
I wonder if he's forgot to put the race fuel in. Because I can't see any incident for him. I wonder if he's just running out of fuel.
Oh, if he has, that's absolutely devastating. Third place in the championship, only 8 points behind the leader going in. And if he doesn't get any points for race 1, which looks like he hasn't because he's run out of fuel, he's got no hope of catching back up. That will put him out of the championship and leave the championship to be decided between Snadden and Gallagher. Yeah, I think it looks like you're right. We haven't seen any incidents. And the way he just pulled over, the car looked absolutely fine. It's either a hardware failure or fuel. It's got to be. Wow, the stories we're already bringing in you here, and it's only the first 10 minutes. We've got another 2 races after this. And already we've had drama. All 3 drivers in the Open Championship have been in the lead.
Shane Wright with a bit of a swapper over Lukey there. Managed to catch it.
Yeah, I think there might have been a little bit of contact between him and Denji.
Well, it was either that or he just got a swapper and just inadvertently ended up getting the big defend on Denji. So kind of worked out for him.
Denji is already up 10 spots from 14th place up into 4th. And looking very much like he's on for a podium here, although he's got his work cut out if he wants to catch Corey. Corey now 4 seconds ahead and the lead of the race. And we barely mentioned him because he has been flawless. He's one of the quickest guys on track, pulled out a 4-second lead and doing everything he needs to do to take the fight to Shane Wright for 2nd place in the championship. He will be relying on some misfortune for Shane Wright. The gap is 32 points. It is quite large.
Corey's
keeping his fingers crossed.
Corey's a good pace all season, but he's had some pretty bad luck. He has been caught up in a few incidents that probably weren't even his own fault. So it's good to see him at the moment having a good run.
It is really good to see him having a good run. It's certainly, I think, other than Matty Dench, I think he might be the driver that's led the most laps. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. We should see Matty Dench and Shane Wright rubbing doors there. Shane Wright knowing who it is, not wanting to give him any space, thinking, you know what, I've only got to hold him behind me for another couple of laps to get a race position over Matty Dench, but not able to do so. Matty Dench just cleanly and fairly, but robustly, barging his way through. Sounds like a bit of a contradiction there, but it's not. We're just watching here. Gordon Ramsay, he's got a car on the inside. Looks like Samuel.
Oh, Barker.
Oh, he's off. Keep out of the wall, mate. Keeps out of the wall. Gets the brakes on.
It's all downhill here, so he's going to keep sliding. He's managed to pull it up, has he? Yeah. Oh, just.
Oh, it's so hard when you go off at Lukey Heights. Oh, so he's gone off. He's got it wrong over Lukey Heights, coming down into MG. Gone off track, and as Adam just said, it's all downhill and the grass is so slippy. You just keep sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding. You're just hoping that the car's going to stop before you hit anything solid. And thankfully, he's just about kept it out of the wall. And here he's got back onto the track after losing a whole heap of positions. We're now looking at Kai Ardley, proudly displaying his silver fern there. Behind Gordon Ramsay, who is proudly displaying the Scottish flag on his car.
So Kai's from Melbourne. I'm wondering if it's just a livery or whether he does have some Kiwi heritage to his family. I want to ask him if you've ever seen him in the booth.
Yeah, we're going to have to ask, because it's a very All Blacks livery, isn't it? The black with the silver fern.
It is based on, it is a real life livery, I'm pretty sure, so it could be just what he likes. But you would think there would be some sort of New Zealand connection there.
Yep, we'll have to ask him if we can get him in the booth. Certainly it was confusing because his helmet screams like American, so maybe he's just a fan of the country, so we'll have to get him in the booth and ask the question if we get the opportunity. But that's for now. Let's go back to his racing, because he is side by side with multiple cars, side by side with John O'Freeman, side by side with Jared Knight. 4 cars here having a great battle. So you've got John O'Freeman at the front of that battle, with Gordon Ramsay just separate now ahead of it. You got Kai Ardley, we've been focusing on him. He's in second place in this battle. You got Jared Knight in third. He's had a lot of pace and often comes through the field. And Ben Pedersen, the fourth, who's also had a lot of pace at times this season. We've seen him battling in the top 3 at a couple of races. Currently in 12th place, so you've got to imagine he's going to have more pace than the cars ahead, just based on prior performance. Watching him
a little slip there from Brendan. From Ben, sorry.
Such a difficult corner. Almost getting tripped up. Weird to see a car getting tripped up on the inside there, almost getting a swapper on. But easy to do in cars as powerful as the Porsche Cup car. Seeing Jared Knight throwing it down the inside to defend from Kai Ardley. We saw him get in the position a little bit earlier. Defends the position. He's now going around Siberia, and he'll try and pull out a gap through the Lukey Heights, I imagine. So watch, go through the hay shed, up to Lukey Heights. Such a difficult corner. Uphill, getting tighter and tighter. You go over this crest, and all of a sudden you're hard on the brakes as you dip into MG. You're almost having to, in some cars, you almost have to get on the brakes before you actually crest the corner, because otherwise it unsettles the car a bit too much. Really, really difficult. And we've just been informed we've got Snadden and Gallagher finding out by Diago's fan club. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. So they're next to each other on the timing screens, but there's 4.5 seconds between them on the intervals at the moment. But Snadden is going to take the lead of the championship
White flag
if
is
it
out.
stays as it is for this one final lap. Just watching Jared Knight here, he's in 10th. He'll be looking to hold on to that defend from Kai Ardley and Ben Pedersen. Let's have a look how this battle unfolds. Is Kai going to throw it up the inside here? Oh, I tell you what, he is. He's shaping up, but it's going to put him on the outside for Miller corner, which is not where you want to be. Oh, and he outbrakes himself, goes straight on. So easy to lock a brake here, and I think there's just been contact between Ben Pedersen and Jared Knight. Jared Knight goes around after a touch from the back. Kai Ardley is going to get the position of Jared Knight, and Ben Pedersen's going to have taken up both of them in the space of one corner, thanks to a mistake from Kai Ardley, and it looked like he tapped Jared Knight at the back. Not sure what happened there. It looked quite clumsy. We'll have to wait and see. Dentry looking to try and get onto the podium to try and steal second place from Andrew Smith. Come on, Smith. You've only got a couple of corners to go. You can do this. Let's watch Corey Lazarus comes around the final corner. 4.7 seconds gap between him and Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith's going to cross the line to take second from Matty Dench. He comes 14th onto the podium. Third place for him. Shane Wright finishes in 4th. Ben Croydon in 5th. And then there's a gap to Guy Leach, who, if he can hold off Samuel Sproul, is going to finish 6th. Samuel Sproul 7th. Gordon Ramsay 8th. John O'Freeman 9th. So,
despite that mistake, Snedden still managed to get first in his split, so he's looking for that championship win.
So let's bring you my very quick update and rough update on the championships. Of course, Matty Dench has won the Elite. The fight for second place in the Elites has just hotted up a bit, with Corey Lazarus making some ground on Shane Wright. He'll have made 9 points on him, I believe, in the first race, which puts him on 326 points, so about 23 points behind Shane Wright, so a lot to do from there. If he is going to make up that ground, he's going to have to rely on Shane Wright getting it wrong in at least one of the races, but with 2 more races to go, that can definitely happen. In the team championship, Corey Lazarus, I think, Corey Lazarus was in the team in the lead. Blackout Motorsport New Zealand. His teammate Samuel Sproul, who finished 7th. I believe between them they've got more points than Freeman and Croydon.
Yeah, because they got Lazarus has got more points than Croydon, and Sproul's got more points than Freeman. So
yeah, so they've extended their lead in the team championship. So one more strong race ought to see them wrap up the team championship, because I think that's put them far enough ahead of Matty Dench to take him out of the running for the team championship. So here's your finishing order for the Elite split. You've got Corey Lazarus in 1st, Andrew Smith in 2nd, Matty Dench in 1st. Corey Lazarus becomes the first non-Matty Dench to win a race, and congratulations to Corey Lazarus on that. Shane Wright finishes in 4th place, Croydon in 5th, Guy Leach in 6th, Sproul in 7th, Ramsey in 8th, Freeman in 9th, Pedersen in 10th, Kai Ardley in 11th, Jared Knight in 12th, Dawson in 13th, Barker in 14th. And we're going to cut away from that to bring you the Open split results. Snadden 1st, Gallagher 2nd, Heinrich 3rd, Tice 3rd, Newens 4th, Ladder 5th, 6th. Wilson in 7th, gets 19 points, which is important. That keeps him in the hunt. McGrath in 8th, Paget in 9th. So what that has done is widened the gap between Gallagher, Snadden and Wilson. Wilson's going to have to win the next 2 races and hope misfortune befalls Gallagher and Snadden if he wants to get the championship. Here is your grid for the next race. We've got Pedersen taking pole position with Freeman alongside him. Then Ramsey and Sproul on the 2nd row. Leach and Croydon on the 3rd. And we're cutting away from that because the race is about to start. They rev their engines. And off we go. Looks like a good start from pole for Ben Pedersen. John Freeman not getting a race spot. Sam Sproul getting a fantastic spot. He's up one spot already. Oh, that's someone going way off the track.
That's Shane Wright.
Shane Wright well off the track, and that's got important connotations, but that opens the door for Corey Lazarus to perhaps come in and steal second place championship. Matty Dench is off. He's going to get onto the tarmac. He's going to have to recover. He won't mind that. He's already won the championship, and he's just going to go and have some fun and try and make some positions over the next 14-lap race. So a few cars have fallen down the order. Callum Heinrich, Shane Wright and Matty Dench, they're 20th, 21st and 22nd after starting up further up the field. Callum Heinrich only started a few positions further up, but he's still falling down. Gordon Ramsay's fallen down 8 positions, so he started off in 3rd place and is now down in 11th. Big move is Dane Snadden. He's up 6 places to 7th. He's definitely in the lead of the Open Championship. Gallagher is in 13th place, battling with Barker for 14th. They're swapping around every time I look. He's in 2nd place in the Open split. So it doesn't matter how many cars are between him and Snadden, except for it making it harder for him to try and get the position from Snadden. And they are very, very close in the championship. It was 2 points going into it in Gallagher's favour. We saw Gallagher get the win in the first race with Snadden second. If Snadden gets the win with Gallagher second in race 2, that means there'll be 2 points between them going into the final race, and whoever wins the final race wins the championship. Magnus Rowley looking to go around the outside of Alan Dawson there. Brett Barker even, sorry. Looks like he might just get it done. It's very brave at the final corner. But yes, he manages to get it done. Gordon Ramsay, meanwhile, has got ahead of Jared Knight by the looks of it. And we're just going to watch here, see what happens. This is John Freeman. He's in 2nd place. He's got Samuel Sproul putting on a lot of pressure. Samuel Sproul in 3rd place. We have seen Samuel Sproul up in the top 5 in races this season. Not as often as we would like, but doing well so far here tonight. Corey Lazarus, he's in 6th. We know he's got fantastic pace. He became the first driver in the race just before to beat Matty Dench in this series. He'll be looking to repeat that, but he's got 5 cars between him and the win, and he knows he's got a fantastic chance to try and sneak second in the championship from Wright if he can keep it clean and if he can make some positions. And we've got a lap 1 incident between Shane Wright and Matty Dench under investigation, so that can make Shane Wright or Matty Dench's afternoon much worse as they both look to recover from. Let's take it start. So we're just watching Shane Wright coming back onto the track. Oh, he's come back on the track and that's hit Dench. So that explains why Dench is off the track. I don't think Shane Wright's going to get away with that. I think he's going to be in a bit of trouble for that. Looks like Matty Dench getting into more contact with Shane again.
Here we go, sorry.
So this, we're going to see here why Shane Wright ended up on the recovery road to begin with.
Oh, it's just all bottled up.
I just all bottled up, got a side swiped, and then he comes back on the track.
Yeah, but it's sort of not very. Yeah, Shane's sort of just jumped on
and hit Matty Dench. So he's picked up a 15-second penalty for that. I think that's probably the right decision. Of course, it's on the car, rejoin safely.
Yeah, it's basically an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah. Do not have to hop out of the way. So Matty Dench in his right to be there, and Shane Wright. I do think it did look like he did try to feed in behind Matty Dench a little bit, but it's so hard to judge, and he's not got it right. 15-second penalty, I think, is fair for basically taking Matty Dench out of the race, although Matty Dench is in 19th and he's done the fastest lap on the last lap. He's got 7 seconds to the car ahead, but I think that will collapse pretty quickly if he doesn't have any damage. We're now back to live pictures with Corey Lazarus. He is fighting Guy Leach currently, which is the multi-blue car in front of him, the blue, silver and black car. And then you've got the Cool Drive car, thank you. And then you've got Corey Lazarus, he's in the Fisher Lawyers car, which rocks a predominantly white livery with blue highlights. Cool Drive car for Injectors Online Racing is what it says in these team box. You got Magnus Rowney. He's looking to put pressure onto Alan Dawson. Alan Dawson in the quite distinctive black, orange and green Riot livery car. You can see the car's just moving around a little bit down the straight, trying to rake the toe into Doing corner. Magnus Rowney goes for the inside into Doing. That's brave, and he's got it wrong, and he's going round. Was there contact?
But I think Barker's going around as well.
Yeah, if Barker's going around again, then there was contact. I couldn't quite tell from the angle if he just put across the front.
Shane Newman's just going off sympathy.
It's so weird that happens so often. 1 or 2 cars go off and other cars go off just because of the bit of a distraction. You think it wouldn't be... you think you'd get used to it, but you just don't. Oh, that's... Oh, Corey Lazarus was going round, but I think he's got another tap from Guy Leach to help him correct himself. He loses a couple of positions. He's down now in 8th, and Guy Leach going off the track there.
One of the cars got damage there. That was a bit weird.
I don't see any damage. That was a bit weird. We'll have to get a replay and dissect that for you when we can. But for now, we're going to watch Andrew Smith who's under pressure for Corey Lazarus. Let's have a look. Just bringing the replay now. This is what happened between Magnus Rowney. I think there was just the barest of touches, and then that was very close to massive contact. Getting away with it. So look what happened here to Guy Leach and Corey Lazarus. Guy Leach in front of Corey Lazarus. Corey goes for a move down the inside.
Oh, Corey's lost the rear.
Oh, loses the rear. Gets a tap from Guy Leach, which gets him back pointing the right way. And then I think Guy Leach is going to go off by himself here.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah, lost the rear
damage.
There. When was I'm not sure there's damage or just lost the rear brakes there. One of the two.
Something wasn't right. Something wasn't right there. The way the car behaved was a bit weird. Could have just been temp or something, but yeah, well, I think we'll have to try and speak to him if we can after the race to get the story of what's happened there. Ben Pedersen is in the lead of this race. He's ahead of Jono Freeman, with Samuel Sproul right behind.
I think this is Jono Freeman's best run so far. Up in 2nd place. It's a good run.
Yeah, fantastic from Jono Freeman. We haven't seen him in the top 10 quite frequently,
Oh,
but
yeah,
certainly I don't remember seeing him battling for the lead.
They're almost always in the top 10, possibly around that top 5, mid top 10 area. But podium spots are a little bit rarer for these guys, so it's good to see him up here.
Yeah, they're usually towards the head of that like second pack, where the guys that aren't really fighting for the podium, but they're sort of ahead of everybody else. So to see him fighting for a podium here is fantastic, and potentially fighting for a win, because it looks like he's got a good run here on Ben Pedersen, going into the final corner. He'll look to tuck him for the slipstream going down the straight, and perhaps look to make a move into doing.
Ben's like, no slipstream for you.
Yeah, nah. I'm going to get as close to this wall, and then I'm going to move over, and I'm going to defend the inside a little bit, just in case. Come the inside, realises that John Freeman's not close enough behind, and he then goes back to take the racing line for doing. John Freeman, though, look how close he can stick behind him, going for the southern loop. Keeping it a bit tighter, but I think Ben Pedersen got a bit of a better exit. Looked like Samuel Sproul in the background just throwing up a bit of dirt. Don't want to do that too often, because it might end in tears. Not going to be close enough to make a move into Miller. Obviously, previously, probably more well known as Honda. Oh, he's gone off track there. Freeman just getting a bit dirt on the outside. Now opened the door for Samuel Sproul. Samuel Sproul not quite able to walk through it. Freeman managed to recover just well enough to defend his position. But certainly would have had his heart in his mouth there, getting on the dirt on the outside of Miller. Going through the hay shed up to Lukey Heights. Not an overtaking corner. Neither is MG, unless you're feeling particularly brave. And we'll see the top four go through as the top four. So that's that top four. We've got Ben Pedersen in the PGA Tour entry at the front. Then got Jono Freeman in second place. Samuel Sproul in the pink Blackout Electrical Solutions car in third. And then Ben Croydon in fourth. Blackout Electrical Solutions are, of course, your sponsors for the Porsche Cup. We've been glad to have them for the season, and thank them very much for their support.
Without looking, you'll never guess who's got the fastest lap.
Oh, is it? Is it Ramsey? No, Gallagher. No. Let me guess. It is Denji.
That's Corey Lazarus, mate.
That's Corey Lazarus. Fantastic. Nice job from Corey. So he's got a 129.57 as his best.
429.415.
Oh, it's just a Dane has it.
But you make sure you don't. You gotta be careful with the live timing, whether you're looking at last lap or best lap.
29.42 best lap. Yeah, I think I just read the wrong row.
Yeah, I got caught out last night because on the SDK software, best is to the left of last, but on the live timing, it's the other way around.
Oof. Yeah, that's harsh. That's hard to deal with. It sounds small, but you get so used to it in one position, it's hard to deal with. Or you just like me, you don't get used to it in any position. As we watch Samuel Sproul with live pictures, he goes a bit wide into MG there. Just giving Ben Croydon an opening.
Yeah, we saw a little lock up there on MG, which is very easy to do. Now, next race I think it's only 35 minutes, so it's not a super long race. So it might not be too much problem, but as we know, the iRacing have really sort of made these tyres a little bit less of a lifelong stinting tyre, so they usually go off a bit quicker. And we've had in the past, in the 75-minute races we used to do, basically guys with punctures at the end of the race and having no grip, basically losing 6 to 10 seconds in lap time because their tyres are going completely off the cliff. So it'll be interesting to see tonight. Even though it's only 35 minutes, we may see some tyre dig during that next race.
Yeah, you can't imagine it's enough to be like, seconds.
No.
Oh, Ben Pedersen's gone off from the lead of the race. He's down in 12th, 13th, 12th. Paul Wilson just going ahead of him. Paul Wilson's back in the race, by the way. When did that happen?
Oh, he's at the outside grass.
Oh, trying to get as wide as he can for the entry to southern loop, just getting it wrong and it sent him off. It's going to keep it out of the time areas though. So he will have joined in 12th with no damage. So Paul Wilson at some point returned to the race and is now in 11th place. Only 9.68 seconds off the lead. It was Paul Wilson we saw go off, right? Or was it Snellen?
That was the last race.
Oh, that was the last race. God. Whoa. Too much racing. Can't keep it straight in my head. Right, so we've got Ben Croydon. He's in third place. He's got Samuel Sproul ahead of him. John Freeman ahead of him. John Freeman now leading the race, inheriting the lead from Corey Lazarus, who made a mistake. In the Open Cup, we've got Snadden in the lead, Wilson in second, and Gallagher in third. So I believe that means I'll be 2 points behind between I believe, actually, take it back. Because of Wilson is between Snadden and Gallagher, I think that means that Snadden will take the lead going into the final round from Gallagher by 2 points, perhaps 3. And then Wilson will be just probably a bit too far out of it to really be involved in the final race unless Snadden and Gallagher have it coming together. As we watch Ben Croydon here on the outside going into Miller. He's got Kai on his inside. Who's this up the inside? This is Corey Lazarus.
Corey on the inside. It's Corey
up the inside.
Yeah.
Ball through there. I think might be a little bit touch, but all 3 cars get through there. And he's got Andrew Smith right behind him. Andrew Smith, someone that's shown a lot of pace throughout this series, and is perhaps in a championship position that doesn't quite reflect his speed because he did not do all of the rounds. Just watching here, Matty Dench following Stephen Gallagher, but not off the track. Stephen Gallagher just outbraking himself just a little bit, just politely, reverses back onto the track and we'll get going again. He is currently in 16th place. Oh, big collision there. That looks like Andrew Smith going around. It is. That's Andrew Smith. He's gone round. Could have been a collision. I'm going to say it was a collision. We'll have to have a replay and have a look at what happened there. He'll be joining in 14th place. So he's got Corey Lazarus right ahead of him.
Oh, Corey's lost the rear.
Corey's lost the rear. He's whacked on the brakes to try and recover. Andrew Smith's clattered him in the back. Corey Lazarus is going to get back on. Yeah, he's not diving in the pit lane, so he managed to get back in to the race in 12th position. Looks like he's going to take his time to join safely behind Ben Pedersen, who we saw having his spin a couple of laps ago. And then Andrew Smith's come off worse, though. He's in 14th place. Neither driver will pick up a penalty for that. Corey Lazarus did nothing wrong except for making his own mistake, which of course it doesn't get you a penalty when you make a mistake by yourself. But then Andrew Smith unable to take avoiding action. Hazard's back in, which is really hard luck for Andrew Smith. Not much you could do there. And it has effectively ruined his race. He's in 14th place, 5 seconds behind Corey Lazarus. Alan Dawson here in the right entry. He's in 7th place. He's got Paul Wilson behind him and Dane Snadden ahead of him. He's in an open cup sandwich. Dane Snadden putting pressure on Gordon Ramsay, having an absolutely fantastic race. And Snadden, he might get into the top 5 here before the end of this race. 4 laps to go. All it takes is one mistake from one of the leading 5 for him to get into the top 5. And he's got Paul Wilson not far behind him. Paul Wilson doing his absolute best trying to keep the championship line. Ben Pedersen just showing his nose.
He doesn't even need someone to make a mistake. Actually, you're right, sorry, because he's in 7th. For a second now, I thought he was already 6th. My bad.
No, he's got he's in 7th place. He's got Gordon Ramsay just ahead of him. So he'll hope to get Gordon Ramsay and get himself into 6th place and get himself in a position to perhaps inherit a top 5. And then the top 5 is not that far away. What's his pace like? His best is a 1:30.59. Which is a bit behind the cars ahead in their best, but evidently he's been super consistent because otherwise he wouldn't be in 7th place and putting pressure on Gordon Ramsay.
As I say, Paul Wilson's having a great night too. He's trying to keep that pressure on Snad, not letting him go. Oh, Dawson's gone. Too much jandle.
Dawson goes around.
Oh, and Pedersen
gets hit by Pedersen. Pedersen rejoins. That's a crooked smile.
Yeah, so he's a bit of a smirk now rather than a smile.
Yeah, looking a bit jokery. Which may be the vibe he wants to go for if he's going to have to get his fists out to get through the rest of the pack. Corey Lazarus just going ahead of him. And Matty Dench and all that is up to 10th after being shunted off at the first corner. Now, within half a second of Guy Leach. Yeah, just trying to get on the throttle out of the southern loop. Too much too early. Tyre smoke everywhere. Pedersen couldn't see where he was until too late. Slams into him. Gets on the grass. Keeps a good presence of mind to get out of the throttle and bring it gently back onto the track. And this is the live battle for the lead. We've got Freeman. He's out in the lead, having an absolutely phenomenal race. Well-deserved lead. Lots of people make mistakes at this difficult track, but Freeman's kept it clean and he's in the lead of the race. He's got Samuel Sproul behind him in the Blackout Electrical Solutions car, and then behind them is Kai Ardley. He's having a fantastic race, came into the season late and is now running in the top 3 in the second race of our free race round, with only another 2 laps after this one remaining. So all of these drivers getting nosebleeds because they're so high up compared to their normal position. And it'll be a case of who can handle the blood loss and get around without making a mistake. Has Kai made a mistake, or is he... He's disappeared. He's going down the order. He has made a mistake. He's down now, reading back in 10th, 11th place. I don't know if he's just disappeared.
Internet dropout.
No! Oh, poor guy. Internet dropout for Kai Hardley. So he's out of this race. He wasn't in podium position. That promotes Ben Croydon into podium position. And that is really important for the team championship, with Freeman and Croydon in 1st and 3rd, looking to overhaul Corey Lazarus, who's in 10th, and his teammate, who is, you're going to remind me in a second,
Sproul,
who is in 2nd place. So Sproul looking to keep them in the championship. Sorry, it's confusing because they run different colour liveries, so I can't just look at the colours in the bar and see who's together. Obviously, Blackout Electrical Solutions and Fisher Door Lawyers entries for them too. 2 of our sponsors for the GSRC, so they absolutely love racing here at the GSRC. Jared Knight looking to put pressure on Ben Croydon for the final podium.
This could be vital for the team championship, because at the moment it's a Joanne team podium, but Jared's trying to spoil that.
He really is. He's going to have to go around the outside at Miller if he's going to make it happen. He's going to try and keep Ben Croydon to the inside. No, it gives Croydon plenty of room to come out fairly wide going into Miller. Going to go for the up and under. No, a little bit of touching there throughout the corner, but that's fine. Not going to get past at Siberia. Oh, touch there. Not keen on that. It's behind him.
Yeah, Croydon was just slightly wide, and Ben was trying to get the gap. He just couldn't quite fit the nose in there.
Right. It's one of those things where if you could just get your front right wheel alongside their rear left, any door-to-door is probably not going to send them around. You can get away with it, but just a little bit too ambitious there for Jared Knight. But did certainly look to redress and just gave Ben Croydon a little bit of space coming out of Siberia. But it looks like he's got so much more pace. We've seen this at round after round. Jared Knight, he doesn't always qualify perhaps where his speed would suggest he should, and instead comes through the pack with some excellent overtaking. This on board brought to you by West Orange Motors, so we can watch Jared Knight as he chases down Ben Croydon. He's going to try and get the slipstream down here heading into Doohan. We'll see if he carries more speed through Doohan than Croydon ahead. A little bit more speed, definitely wants it out wider. He'll brake hard into Southern Loop, braking through the corner, because if you do what you're braking through the corner, you're wasting time because it tightens up part way through.
The final lap too.
Final lap 2. Wow, that is flown by. I thought we had 3 laps to go still.
Big step by Sproul. He's on the dirt.
He's on dirt, but he's done really well not to lose the car completely. He's recovered cleanly, but that has not lost the position. He's still in 2nd position with Croydon in 3rd and Knight in 4th.
But he's let the pressure valve off Jono, so Jono's just got to bring it home now. Now it's up to his teammate to keep that double podium alive.
He certainly has. So Jono Freeman, he's home and hosed if he can just not make a mistake, and I can avoid giving him the commentator's curse, touch wood. We've got Ben Croydon, he's 3rd place, looking to make it a double podium for Team Joan. And he's only really got to make it through MG and get a clean run into the final corner to lock home that podium. Meanwhile, Freeman comes around the final corner to take an absolutely fantastically well-deserved victory. Really happy to see Freeman getting a victory here in race 2 of the final round of the championship. He does it. He becomes the 2nd person to beat Mary Dench in a race. Samuel Sproul brings it home 2nd, and Ben Croydon, just by a 10th of a second, makes it a double podium for Team Joan, putting them, I believe, in the lead of the team championship, or if not, at least in a position where whoever wins out of them and the Blackout Electrical Solutions / Fisher Door Lawyers team, whoever wins the final round will win the team championship, I believe. Snadden wins the Open Cup with a fantastically strong performance, finishing in 6th place overall. Congratulations. And he had Paul Wilson right behind him in the end. So Paul Wilson managed to finish 7th.
Did she slow on an exit here? What's going on?
I think what we've seen is Matty Dench just letting himself fall outside of the top 10 so he can make more positions in the final round.
Well, there's no, yeah, well, there's no reverse for the feature. So I think you might have been trying that, but there is no reverse for the feature race.
It might have been unsure and just wanted to make sure that he had plenty of people to overtake. So, by my very, very quick, rough calculations, I believe Corey Lazarus is now in a really tight fight with Shane Wright. Where did Shane Wright finish in that? Oh no, Shane Wright finished in third.
Shane Wright was waiting in order. He had the big incident at the start of the race.
Yes, where did he finish in the end? Did he finish out the race? I didn't have time to see it on the live timing before it disappeared. I was looking for his name. So I think Shane Wright didn't get any points.
13.
Oh, here we go. We'll see. So Jonathan Freeman takes home victory for the elite class. Congratulations to Freeman. Really well deserved. Sproul brings it home second for Blackout Motorsport New Zealand. Ben Croydon in third for Team Joan. And it is Team Joan versus Blackout Motorsport New Zealand for the team championship here tonight. Jared Knight brings it home in fourth with Gordon Ramsay in fifth. Guy Leach in sixth. Corey Lazarus in seventh. Andrew Smith in eighth. Matty Dench ninth. Magnus Rowney 10th. Then Barker 11th. Pedersen 12th. Shane Wright 13th with 13 important points as he tries to keep position over Corey Lazarus in the championship.
I'm assuming that's Kai Ardley there with these networks for having
I
been
think so. Yeah, that really sucks, mate. You drove really well today. And we're just going to bring you the results for the Open Championship. Open race, even. So the Open split. Snowden finishes with a victory. Wilson in second. Gallagher in third. And then Tice in fourth, Ladder in fifth, New in sixth, Heinrich seventh, McGrath eighth, and Greg Paget bringing up the rear in ninth place. And it looks like Paget and McGrath did not take part in the second races. They're both down for 14 laps, or they went out right at the very start.
So
it's really...
So as we've seen so far, the first two races are basically your regular sort of sprint style races, 30 points for the wins, but the 35-minute feature race is worth 60 points. So it's a big bertha race. So it's basically the important race of the night. So it's basically half your points in the one race. So whatever's happened in the first two races, you can make up for it in this next one.
Absolutely, and I believe what we're seeing is a few battles playing out here. With Corey Lazarus, I believe him and Shane Wright will be close enough that if they finish anything other than Minor Stern, whoever finishes ahead is probably going to take second place in the championship. The gap was 32 points going into this round, but we've seen Corey Lazarus outscore Shane Wright in the first two races. And with double points on offer for the final race, I believe that's going to make that more important. And then we've got Guy Leach, he's in a battle for the top 10, mainly with Alex. He's in 7th place, and then down to Alex Spinozzi and Samuel Sproul in 12th and 13th. There's a huge battle to finish in that top 10. So this is your grid for your final race of the night and your feature race. Freeman takes pole position with Samuel Sproul alongside him. Croydon in third with Knight in fourth. Third row is Ramsey and Snadden, who is the pole position man for the open split, but he's got Wilson in second right behind him for the open split. Guy Leach in 8th, and then running out the top 10 are Lazarus and Smith. In 11th place, we've got Matty Dench. He'll look to take victory for at least one race here tonight. Magnus Rowney is in 12th. Stephen Gallagher, he takes 3rd for the Open Championship, but a few cars between him and his main rivals, Snadden and Wilson. Barker is in 14th. Then on the next row, you've got Pedersen and Tice. The 9th row is Latter and Wright, and the 10th row, running up top 20, are Newlands and Dawson. The engines are roaring as the lights come on.
It's like a few cars aren't taking the grid here.
There are a few cars on taking the grid, perhaps not realising that there's 3 races here. That changes things. So who's not? Jared Knight's not appeared.
He's in the pit. He's starting for the pits though.
Shane Newens, Robert McGrath, Cardley, Braden Sagasa, Matt Stewart and Greg Paget all not starting the race from the grid, and I think Jared Knight's the only one starting from the pit lane. Not too many big moves going on the first corner, all pretty clean. Gordon Ramsay's gone off, he's gone wide. He's managed to
Guy Leach with him.
Guy Leach has gone with him. Guy Leach is going to hit in the back, unable to slow it down on the grass. Gordon Ramsay's been here, he's going to touch the tyre barrier, hopefully not get too much damage, and he's going to rejoin, is he? Spinning up the rear tyres. Really lucky they're both crashing in the same place. Paul Wilson, he's got Andrew Smith alongside him, both managed to get through the corner cleanly. He's going to have the inside for Siberia, but he's not going to be able to make it count, is he? Matty Dench right behind him, and then Ben Pedersen, the PGA Tour entry, behind them. And then Shane Wright in the slow and slow out entry, looking to join this battle. God, there's some talent in this battle. Matty Dench looking to go up the inside. Lukey Heights. I'll tell you what, that'll have your heart in your mouth if you're Paul Wilson. He goes wide. Losing position to Ben Pedersen as well. He's got Shane Wright on his outside now as he enters MG. Will he hold on to that position? Shane Wright gets a good run. He's going to take the inside for the penultimate corner, turn 11. And he's going to hold that into turn 12. Paul Wilson just being fed to the outside, losing a heap of positions. But he is ahead of Gallagher. And Snadden is down in 17th place currently. So Snadden having a horror start. He's lost 11 positions. That's put him down to... That's put him way down in the Open Championship, trying to do the maths quickly. So he's in 17th place. So he's in 5th place in the Open Championship. That might just cost him championship if he cannot make the positions back. So he's got a big fight back on his hands. Gallagher is in 13th place currently. Dawson in 11th. Wilson in 10th. Just seeing a replay of an... So let's have a look at Dane Snadden here. What's happened to him?
Oh, he's just gone deep into Lukey.
Oh no, it's so easy to do. That incident between Leach and Ramsey where Leach ran into the back of Ramsey on lap 1 is under investigation. Interesting to see what the stewards make of that. Certainly one car mostly at fault for the contact, but so the mistake had already been made, so I'd just be interested to see what they decide.
Oh, that's a big lockup for Tyson.
Century. Yeah, huge lockup. Did well not to hit any of the cars. So easy to do that into Miller. Ben Croydon here, trying to keep Corey Lazarus behind him. Corey Lazarus is on a charge. He started in 9th. He's up 5 places to be in 4th place. He's got Andrew Smith following him through, and Matty Ditch behind him, also following through. So, these three started line astern in 9th, 10th, and 11th, and now the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
So currently the top 4 are the 4 cars in the Team's Championship battle.
That's amazing. That's what we love to see. So you've got Samuel Sproul ahead of John O'Freeman, and then Croydon ahead of Lazarus. So you've got a sandwich there. You got the Sproul and Lazarus making a Team Joan sandwich. Team Joan is the filler, and then remind me of the team name.
Blackout, New Zealand.
The New Zealand Motorsports are 1st and 4th. Blackout Motorsport New Zealand. That's the name. Thank you. So Guy Leach getting a 10-second penalty for the unsafe rejoin with Gordon Ramsay on that one.
Yeah, it's probably one of those like Guy basically didn't lift there. He's just trying back, whereas Gordon was lifted off to try and make sure he kept control of the car. So it's just a little bit of probably Guy's been a little bit overeager to try and make up for his mistake.
Yeah, and not realising that Ramsey's having his own mistake ahead of him. Yeah, I think you've read that pretty well, and I think.
Oh, no.
Probably the right decision. Corey Lazarus has gone off. So he's gone off down into MG. Looked like he might have been side by side with somebody.
I think Ben Pedersen might be involved in this.
Yeah, let's have I'm sure we'll see the replay soon, and that's going to really hurt Corey rejoining in 16th place. Let's have a look what happened here. It's going up.
So Ben goes out wide. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He's always just locked. He's
locked it.
He's gone a little deep, and he's just jinked trying to avoid the car ahead.
Yeah, just locked up trying to defend from Matty Dench. And yeah, it's just out of the track. So I don't think he's that close to Andrew Smith.
Yeah, because he's going deep. Oh, it might have been a rear lock actually. It might have just been a little nip of the rear.
Yeah, it's definitely. It might have been. I think it was definitely a little rear lock of the. Little rear locking, but maybe you caught right at him getting a little bit spooked by how fast the car ahead was approaching, realizing he maybe not applying enough brake pressure, went to apply a little bit more and just snapped the brakes.
And also keep in mind there probably will be pit stops this race too, so a bit of strategy in this one.
Well, if your name's not Matty Dench, but we'll see. We'll see how that all unfolds. Samuel Sproul currently in the lead of the race with John O'Freeman in second. And you can see just how close he is, almost hitting him as they come round.
There's so many ways to go through Lukey Heights. It's just about how you want to attack it to get the lap time out of it.
There really is. It's a beautiful corner. There's so many lines. It's so difficult as well. Oh no, Snadden's off. Snellen's off again. We saw him have a horror start, having to make...
It's Lukey Heights again.
Lukey Heights again.
Well, actually, it might have been the hay sheet. He might have run it a bit earlier. To have a look. But Sproul is under attack here.
He really is. Huge attack from John O'Freeman, looking to go around the outside into Doohan. Can't make a stick there, but he will get a little bit of an up and under. He's going to take a wider entry into the southern loop. Try and get a better exit. Keeps it a little bit tighter than Samuel Sproul. I think he's going to be a bit too far behind to make a lunge into Miller Corner, but we'll have to wait and see.
This is amazing how every time we bring the Porsches to Phillip Island or Red Bull Ring, the racing is just fantastic.
I think you bring any car to Phillip Island and the racing's fantastic. Am I wrong?
You aren't wrong, but the Porsches especially have had mega races here.
Yeah. The Porsches are just phenomenal cars. They're so alive with the lack of traction control, with the amount of power they've got. They're so in the hands of the drivers. You really feel connected to the car when you're driving these cars. Compared to a car with traction control, compared to a car that just helps you out, these cars give you no help. Every mistake is available to you. Your hand isn't held at all in these cars, and they have enough power to punish you if you don't know how to use it. Dane Sutton just getting that one all wrong. And that's really going to hurt. That's going to basically take him out of the running for the Open Championship unless he can pit, get a fast repair, do an early pit stop and make it to the end of the race. And carry fantastic pace, but I think he is out of the championship running. And I'm looking at Matty Dench, trying to go up the inside of Doohan. Gets the position from Ben Croydon at the inside of Doohan. Croydon hanging on around the outside. Is he going to try and get the inside for Southern Loop?
Tenchi was very nice there. He could have closed the door. He's let that door open, and Croydon's going, well, mate, if you're going to leave the door open, let me through.
Yeah, you can be polite, but I ain't.
And these guys will be loving the fact that they actually get to have a race with Denchi for a change rather than being off in the sunset.
Yeah, you learn so much more when you're racing door to door with someone than when you're a few seconds back. You just can't see enough of what they're doing to understand how they're generating the speed. But when you're door to door like this, you can really see the decisions they're making and really pick up on what they're doing in the corners. And sometimes it might only be one or two corners where you're slower.
It's just, if you watch Denchi, it's just he maximizes every inch of the track, every corner, every lap. He's just leaving nothing on the table.
His consistency is absolutely incredible, isn't it? You just watch him and every lap looks almost exactly the same. When he's not battling with the cars, of course. Gets a nice exit into turn 11. He's going to carry a lot of speed into turn 12. And he's going to use that to try and launch another attack on Ben Croydon into Doohan. He's not closing as much as I thought he would be, so maybe it won't be at Doohan, maybe we'll have to wait down into Miller. Carries a little bit too much speed on the entry, going a little bit wider, has to score up a bit more speed than Ben Croydon ahead, so you both saw Ben Croydon extend his lead coming out the exit of that corner, but Croydon getting a bit of a lock-up into Southern Loop. Not a huge one, but just enough that he compromised the middle of his corner and put Matty Dench right in his tail. Matty Dench now launches it up the inside into Miller. Gets position, gets a stop, stays pretty much on the apex, on the curb, as far to the inside as he can. Really polite overtake. And gets the move done. And his next target is Andrew Smith in the green comic book style car.
Oh yeah, just to keep him up. We've got a 7-car train for the lead here.
So those 7 cars are Samuel Sproul in the lead, John Freeman in second, still putting on the pressure. Andrew Smith's in third, Matty Dench is in fourth, Ben Croydon's in fifth, Ben Pedersen is in sixth, and Shane Wright is in seventh. And then in the open split, we've currently got Paul Wilson leading the open split with Gallagher and Snelling down to 16th and 17th. So Paul Wilson's in first, Heinrich's in second, Gallagher in third, Snelling in fourth, and then Lallard, Tice, Newens, McGrath and Paget. Newens, McGrath and Paget not taking part, so only the 6 cars in the open split. Wilson, he was behind going into the first race. We saw him not putting in the fuel for the first race and having to pull over. That's, I believe, taking him out of championship running, even with the extra points on up for the feature race, just because there's not enough positions to put between him and Gallagher and Snelling. And currently it's Gallagher ahead of Snadden, which I think means he will take the championship as things stand. I may be wrong because I haven't done any actual maths. I'm going mostly off knowing the scoring system and feelings. But I think that is a very tight battle, and certainly a car between them would make Gallagher feel a lot better if he can catch up to Heinrich, who is currently 8.3 seconds ahead of him.
Didgey's just made a move around the outside of Honda.
That was incredible. Yeah, and who was it on? It was on Jono Freeman.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Honda is not a corner that you see many overtakes around the outside. And certainly not in a car like this. Maybe in a Formula V or a Skippy, but in a Porsche. Let's have a look how he does it. He's not got much of an overlap into the brakes, and brakes a bit later. Gets maybe most of the car length ahead, just hangs on around the outside. Really good overtake, and then it's going to give him the inside from Siberia where he'll make it stick. Absolutely textbook. So many drivers would have just caught the brakes there. We've seen many drivers doing that as trying to go around the outside, but not so Matty Dench. He makes it clean.
Oh!
And now Andrew Smith with a fantastic move at doing around the outside of Samuel Sproul to take the lead of the race. Absolutely cracking move there from Smith. And he's now going to get the hurry on because he's got a Dench right behind Samuel Sproul. And ahead of Freeman. Ben Pedersen's gone off the track at Southern Loop.
Gordon's gone for the main straight. That's what's going on there.
That's odd. That car is not tracking straight. That car's got damage. So Matty Dench here now looking to get the move on Samuel Sproul, who will look to get revenge on Andrew Smith for that fabulous move around the outside at Doohan. So let's look at what happened to Gordon Ramsay here.
Oh, he's just got the grass in the exit.
Oh, Norris. Oh, it's trying to... And hits the wall. Yep, and that's why it wasn't tracking straight. Or hits the wall 4 times. Oh, inches. An inch. Not even inches. An inch. Millimeters off. And that is the punishment that we get. And now we're going to see what happened to Ben Pedersen. He's going to slowly gets on the grass on the inside. That sends him round. Locks the brakes up. Trying to keep it out the wall. Hits the wall back of the car. Might get away without that without much damage, considering how flush he hit the car. Hit the wall. And now Samuel Sproul heavily defending from Dench. He's going to go around the outside at Doohan. Gives him the inside in Southern Loop. You can hold on around the outside at Southern Loop if you're brave. But Samuel Sproul not able to hold on to the outside. Hold on around the outside with Dench on the inside. Dench just too quick, getting ahead of him mid-corner and making the stick before they get anywhere near Miller. And now let's put Samuel Sproul under pressure from John Freeman because he had the Southern Loop compromised by having Dench on his inside. Sproul won't want to lose another place. He's currently in third position and looking to make it a podium here tonight. But to do that, he's going to have to fend off John Freeman, who will be absolutely full of confidence after taking his first victory of the season in the last race. So now 4 cars in this lead battle. Andrew Smith is in the lead. He's 3/4 of a second ahead of Matty Dench. Matty Dench is then 0.7 ahead of a second ahead of Samuel Sproul, who's only 0.45 ahead of John Freeman. And they've then got Ben Croydon 1.5 seconds behind them, who's in a battle with Shane Wright for 5th place. And there's a bit of a gap to Guy Leach and Alan Dawson. And you got Paul Wilson in the lead of the Open Championship. He's the only Open Championship car in the top 10. And he's got a very healthy lead, 16 seconds over Heinrich. But that gap between Heinrich and Snadden has collapsed. It's now only 3 seconds. And there is 42 seconds between Gallagher and Snadden. I believe Gallagher may have pitted. Let me just double check that for you. So Stephen Gallagher has pitted. He pitted at lap 9, as has Michael Latta. So it was Gallagher we saw ahead of Snadden earlier and looking to close the gap. But instead he's pitted. So it'll be interesting where he comes out in relation to Snadden, because currently the gap between them is quite large. It's about 41 seconds. Magnus Rowney's gone off the track, and Ben Pedersen is currently in the pit lane. We are now watching Magnus rounding the pit lane. Let's have a look what's happened here. Just getting it wrong on Southern Loop, like we've seen so many other people do. So easy to go wide there, and he's going to go all the way into the wall.
I think he was more just trying to find the cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, you may very well be right. He didn't look like he was trying to slow down much. Paul Wilson just being knocked out of the top 10 by Corey Lazarus. Corey Lazarus looking to recover after going off track earlier on. And now in 10th place. Matty Dench in second, looking to reclaim the position he's most comfortable in, which is the lead of the race. But Andrew Smith was not going to be easy to overtake. We might have gone around the outside of the southern loop there, but decided better off it and just took it in behind Andrew Smith. Going to try and get a run in down into Miller. Both cars using all the track. Look at Andrew Smith all the way onto the curve on the exit. Mayden's going to go around the outside again. Can't outbrake Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith holds the inside and shuts the door on the exit. Mayden's now looking to go around the outside at Siberia. I don't think that's going to work. Will he come back for the up and under? He is. But Andrew Smith defends the inside. Well defended there by Smith. Does not give Denchi the run. Denchi's going to sit behind him as they approach Lukey Heights. Flat out to Lukey Heights for the Hosher. Matty Dench taking a wider entry. Alan Dawson just being a bit defensive. Wants to be on the outside here so he can defend the inside into MG. Does so. There's contact. Alan Dawson not giving Dench any space just because of who he is. Defending hard the inside and a bit of contact between him and Matty Dench, and that actually means Matty Dench loses position to Samuel Sproul.
Croydon's first of the leaders to jump.
He is the first of the leaders, and with all four of these cars in this battle, that may not be a bad tactic while these cars all slow each other down. We've just seen Matty Dench getting slowed down, trying to attack Andrew Smith, and then Samuel Sproul getting in position. That may be a masterstroke from Croydon that just gets him into the lead of this battle. But we won't know until they all pit. We've seen a few pitters now. Michael Ladder, Gallagher, Tice, Rowney, Pedersen, Croydon. And I think we'll see a few more pit in the next few laps, about halfway through the race. And if the
if Croydon in the Gallagher and Ladder are the benchmark, looks like the 9 to 10 second pit stop is about how much fuel they're putting in. So we'll probably see Denchi put about 7 seconds in, knowing him.
Absolutely, and of course, we don't know how much any of these cars are saving, or even if they are saving. But yeah, given Matty Dench is Matty Dench, I think it's safe to assume he will be saving. We've also seen, was it? I'm going to test my memory here. Was it Samuel Sproul last race who also didn't pit, or was it? Was Dylan Shepherd? Might have been Dylan Shepherd. I think pitted but went long.
Oh, in the last round.
Last round, sorry, not last race. Last round.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was a couple there because just the track nature allowed him just to sneak it out a little bit on me.
Yeah, I think it was Dylan Shepherd that went longer than everybody else. I think it was, but he's not here tonight, sadly. Which means he's not been able to take part in the great battle that we've had for second place in the championship. Which he was in a good position for, actually. Only 23 points behind Shane Wright going into this round, but he'll drop back behind Shane Wright and Corey Lazarus after this. Samuel Sproul still holding the lead from Dench. Dench going to try and launch another attack. I wouldn't be surprised if Denchi's not saving as much this round as normal, because he's definitely been looking to have fun this round with the championship wrapped up.
I reckon, there's been a couple of touches and stuff, but I reckon Denchi's probably having a good time tonight, actually being in some battles. Having a bit of a race in his hands. The boys not just giving it to him, they're actually making him earn it. So here he goes, going for another one, just getting a good run.
It's going to look to make the move in to Lukey Heights.
Got him.
He has got him. Look how much speed he carries through Lukey Heights. Look at the gap he got through one corner.
And now the problem is with Denji being in front and chances of having a quick stop, he might be home and hosey unless he makes a mistake. But definitely, the guys definitely made him earn it tonight. He wasn't one of those runaway nights for him. He's actually had to really try hard. He did give it to himself by deliberately qualifying a little lower than normal, but definitely been good for him to have some fun tonight.
But even then, I think you'd have backed him from those positions. You know, he did qualify lower than normal, but he still qualified top 15. And with the pace he's had at other rounds, yes, the first 2 races are a bit shorter, but I think you still would have backed him to come through, and he's not been able to do it. Which I think just shows that the other drivers, I think, are a little bit closer to him around this track than we have seen at some other rounds. Because we've seen him come back from like incidents on the first lap and stuff before.
Ooh, Alan's at one.
Ooh. Big collision for Alan Dawson there. And towing to the pits. That'll cost him a heap of time. So just getting it wrong into Southern Loop, losing the back end.
Yeah, that's lost the rear. And that's just going to keep on going.
I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of what you're saying. Maybe the tyre is just not quite at that peak anymore.
Yeah, no, there will be a bit. There'll be a little bit of tyre drag, so the tyre won't have as strong a grip. So you've got to be mindful that you might not be able to lean on the car as much as you were earlier. So you might need to just to be a little bit safer through some of the high grippy parts of the track where you really got to lean on the tyre. Because basically, as the tyre goes off, you may not lose overall grip, but your margin to the edge will shrink.
Yes. And it's just going to make it more difficult, particularly through Dewan and Southern Loop. I think is where they're really going to feel it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the long radius corners are real. This track is just a tyre killer because it's got real long, fast, high-loading, long radius corners, and it's got those tight hairpins where you lock up, and iRacing really punishes you for lock-ups with the tyre model. So it's got all the ingredients to ruin your tyre if you're not on the ball to look after it during the race.
Samuel Sproul just become the second person in that lead pack to pit, and he's come out behind Jono Freeman and Ben Croydon. It was touch and go. He's within a second of Ben Croydon, but he's come out behind him. So Freeman and Croydon running at a great pace, and of course we saw Samuel Sproul was fighting with Matty Dench. Oh, Freeman! Oh,
he's done well to save that.
He's done very well to save that. I thought he was gone for sure. So he loses the position to Samuel Sproul and Ben Croydon. And I think that might mean this whole pack now is going to be behind Matty Dench. Before, I think they were in with a shot, given Samuel Sproul came out behind. But given Matty Dench just got past Sproul, and he's now within a second of this battle, I think Dench will definitely come out ahead. But just maybe beforehand, there was a slight chance for him might just nip in there. Dench with a 2.5 second lead over Shane Wright, who's done a fantastic recovery from 18th place to second currently. And even when you account for pit stops, you've got to think he's going to be potentially still second, but certainly in the top 5. Guy Leach now coming into track. Oh, Paul Wilson's off.
I think he's mucked up the pit entry. He's mucked up pit entry.
Oh no, Paul Wilson.
So that might even be a penalty as well. I thought he was going to try and sneak past the yellow cones there.
Oh, go on, get it turned. Get it turned. Don't hit that wall. Oh no. From bad to worse for Paul Wilson. Getting it wrong at pit entry, going off to the grass, then recovering, going and hitting the other wall. He was looking so good as well in the open split. He's already behind Snadden and he's not even got his stop started yet.
So he's
bit too much speed, touches the grass. The thing is, he knew he had to win this race in the open split if he wanted any chance of taking home the championship. And he's just pushed a bit too hard. We'll have to wait to see where it comes out. I don't think he's out of it because I don't think anybody in the open class has had a clean race. But he's now behind Snadden. Snadden hasn't pitted, so Snadden is the leader of the open class currently, and he is in 9th place overall. He's got Heinrich behind him. Heinrich is the leader of those that have pitted. So it'll be interesting to see where Snadden comes out in relation to him. Paul Wilson's still in the pits
Yeah, you would have got unsafe entry
because of the penalty.
because he's crossed not through the yellow cones and at the wrong speed. It's going to ping him for it.
So Wilson,
It's frustrating because you've already lost so much time, and it pings you again. It's like a double whammy.
Wilson now out of the championship hunt. It was looking tough for him before the race, and with that incident, he definitely put him out of it. He definitely needed the win, and to hope that Gallagher and Snadden finished further down. And it was looking like it might happen, but yeah, getting it wrong on pit entry. But even so, he should be proud of what he's achieved over the championship. To be in the hunt for the Open Class victory, it means you're pretty quick, because we've seen him, we've seen Gallagher, and we've seen Dawson all mixing it towards the top 10 of the overall split. So he's had a fantastic season, and I hope he doesn't treat himself too badly because of that mistake.
Remember my joke earlier when I said that the guys were doing 9-10-second stops, so potentially would do a 7-second stop?
You got it right.
7.7.
7.7. Even more 7 than a 7-second stop. A 7.7 second stop. Just to make you doubly right. I wouldn't be surprised if he is somehow listening to the commentary, heard that, and adjusted his fuel saving to be exactly 7.7. It would actually not surprise me. I think the guy's got that much headspace when he's driving. He's just absolutely superb. And given all the drivers in this class...
So Shane Wright's the last of the pits. Where's he going to come out in this battle? Guy Leach has done well so far. He's up in the 6th place, so he's managed to jump over Corey. And so Guy's on for a good top result here. So Shane's coming out now, so he's going to join in this group here. So Shane's at the pit exit.
He is. Where's he going to come out?
He's ahead. He's clear.
He's done that very, very well. So he's come out 2 seconds ahead of Ben Croydon.
He's done the same fuel saving as Denchi. He's done a 7.8 second stop, so he's on the Denchi strats.
The thing is, we knew he had pace because he's come through the field in every single race, and he's really showing it. Like getting those just few laps with only Denchi ahead of him, clear track. He put in some fantastic laps. His best lap is actually better than Denchi's. He's driving at Denchi's pace. His best lap is a 129.52. Denchi's best is a 129.64. So absolutely all the pace Denchi, about half a second quicker than this group, and that's how he's got ahead. The next fastest man on track is Corey Lazarus. He's done a 129.59, so he's as fast as Shane Wright and Matty Dench, but just behind this group. He's now only 3/4 of a second behind Guy Leach, so if he can get past Guy Leach, he'll fancy himself to make inroads into this group over the next 5 laps.
So yeah, Wright has got the fastest lap overall. And although Wilson said that Petrium, he's still got the point for fastest lap this race, so he's got a little something for his effort still.
Yeah, fastest lap in the open split. Yes. Yeah. Just a little good effort. And he's still in 5th place in the open split, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know what dramas might unfold in his last 5 laps here. So at the moment, Shane Wright looking like he's probably going to get 2nd place, given the points lead he already had about over Corey Lazarus going into this round. So even with Corey Lazarus doing better in the first 2 races, I think this might be enough to get the victory. Well, to get 2nd place championship, unless Corey Lazarus can make a few overtakes in his last few laps. These could be crucial.
And currently, I'm pretty sure the Joanne guys are actually doing enough to maybe take this team championship too, because they got 1 car ahead of it, 1 car each of the. So they're one ahead of the New Zealand Motorsport Blackout guys. So it's going to be tight, but I think they might be doing enough to try and nip this one.
It's going to be tight. I think it all comes down to one man, and that man is the man on your screen in the Fisher Door liveried Blackout Motorsport New Zealand car. Corey Lazarus. He's been really fast all season. He's not had the luck this race. He had an off earlier on the race. He's coming back from the field. Got all the pace of Shane Wright and Matty Dench and the lead. And he has got Guy Leach between him and John O'Freeman, who will be his first target, as one of his competitors in the team championship. He's then got his teammate Samuel Sproul and then Ben Croydon ahead of him. So I think this position could not only decide the team's championship, but this battle could also decide 2nd place in the driver's standings. And it's Guy Leach who's his obstacle to overcome. 4 laps to go as they approach Doohan. Right behind him, shows him the noise, doesn't make a move into Doohan. He's close enough to maybe think about going for a move into Southern Loop if he's feeling brave. No, gets on the brakes a little bit earlier, tries to carry more speed. Guy Leach gets it wrong, locks the rears, and Corey Lazarus is through. With the pace Corey Lazarus has got, you can't imagine Guy Leach is going to be able to come back at him. Although Guy Leach, he'll try. He's been very impressive this race. Very quick, definitely deserving of being right on the edge of that battle for the top 5. He's at similar pace to those cars ahead. Lovely line through there. Perfect example of the up and under there. Getting a wide entry, bringing it back, setting himself up to go up the outside of the next corner if he get big enough overspeed. And there was an overspeed, but just not enough to get him alongside as they go into Siberia. Corey Lazarus, if he wants to get any more positions, he's got.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, Guy Leach losing the rears, going off at Lukey Heights, going to keep it out the barrier. Not quite.
Little tap, it's all good.
Some of the best rally driving we've seen, though. I thought he almost got that perfect. He's going to try and rejoin at MG, which is really tricky. Does so nicely and safely. Only losing 1 position, and I'm really glad for that because he's been driving really well. And I think 1 position is 2 positions. Oh no, 1 position because Corey Lazarus had already got past. So 1 position I think is a harsh enough penalty for that mistake. And now watching Samuel Sproul, he's in the middle of a Team Zone sandwich. Gordon Ramsay got off the track.
He just locked up in the, on those going deep down the reverse strip.
You can see him shaking the car around. I think we're just seeing multiple cars locking the rears. I think you might be right about the tyres going off.
Possibly, and also because it's just a matter of and also with the brake bias in these cars is so sensitive, and as the sun's setting, the track's evolving too.
Yeah, of course, the track will be cooling down with the sun setting. So all these things just shifting the balance of the cars, and perhaps some drivers not making the brake bias changes that would help them out, and that's causing them to lock the rears a little bit. Because I think many of the drivers will be running without changing the brake bias, because it's one of the first things you think of when you think about in-car adjustments, but it's still beyond what most drivers would be thinking of while they're racing. He's got Ben Pedersen right behind him with the crooked smile. It's actually looking relatively straight, this race.
Yeah, I think Ben's taking his faster rear and some time. He's 4 laps down at the moment, unfortunately, but he's still in with some points on the table.
I think they'll have a bit of fun, hopefully. And like you said, points on the table. There's, of course, a big battle going off for the top 10 positions. Such has been the competitiveness of much of the grid this season. Certainly, Matty Dench has been the lead driver up front, and he had, Shane Wright, Dylan Shepherd, Corey Lazarus in that sort of next pack, where they've been not able to fight for the win, but able to fight for frequent podiums. And then there's been a really big battle pack that have been fighting for the positions from sort of maybe the fringe of the top 5 to top 10 every race. And of course, every race there's some unlucky drivers that finish outside the top 10, but on their day, pretty much anybody else in the Elite Championship could finish in the top 10 or even the top 5. It's been that tight between all of them. The likes of Freeman, Croydon, Sproul, Leach, Ramsey. I'm sure there's another driver. Ramsey. All been fantastic on their day, but just not able to challenge for the podiums regularly. And they'll be looking to make that step for next season.
So just speaking of like tonight with the track being a bit of an equaliser, so this is the guy's best laps on the screen. So Denchi's on a 9.6, Rice on a 9.5, and you got 9.9, 9.9, 30 dead, 9.5, 9.8, 9.9. So all the guys are sort of all within a half a second of their peak performance. It's good to see the guys all having a good night. Although Denchi's just come and put a 9.3 on the board, so he's just coming and said, by the way, guys, I'm still here.
Yeah, but it's still only another 10th faster than Wright. I'll tell you what, you'll take that. If we have that separation throughout the grid next season, then next season is going to be an absolute cracker, because that's close enough to be putting pressure on Dench and for all of these drivers to be nicking podiums here and there. As we go on to the final lap of the race, Matty Dench is in the lead. He's got 4.9 seconds over Shane Wright in second, who's got 3.2 seconds over Ben Croydon in third. And this is a battle between Sproul and Freeman. This is crucial for the team championship.
Oh.
And look who that is. It's Corey Lazarus, and John Freeman's off the track. And he's spun. That could decide
That could be a factor.
the team championship. And was there contact there? Will Race Control have a look at that? So now you've got Ben Croydon in third for Team Joan. Let's have a look at it. It's on the outside. No, it's just by himself. Just by himself. Yeah, I just really wanted to stay on the inside, get the inside for Siberia, trying to put the power down, and just too much there. So that is Matty Dench going to take the victory. It's a sight we've seen time and time again in the championship. Gets the victory for the final race of the season, as is befitting your champion for the season, Matty Dench. Shane Wright brings it home second, and then Ben Croydon takes home third place for Team Joan. Samuel Sproul and Corey Lazarus with a picturesque finish for Blackout Motorsport New Zealand. They bring it home in fourth and fifth, hoping they've done enough to get the team championship in the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup. Brett Barker comes home in sixth, and how costly could that spin be for Jono Freeman? Could that have cost Team Joan
It's putting
the
back to
team
seventh.
championship? Say that again?
They're putting back to seventh.
Put him back to seventh. He wasn't fourth.
Yeah, Brett Barker got past as well. This could be an interesting thing. This may be a bit of a spanner in the works at the end of the season here, so we have to do some calculations and crunching while you're interviewing the guys and see how we go.
Absolutely. Please do get onto that. I'm really intrigued to see how it came out. And also the battle for second in the championship with Corey Lazarus getting up to fifth place.
Dane Stanton, big night for him. He may have got the championship here, so he'd be another one that's going to be very excited to see how the results turn out.
I think you may be right, particularly with Heinrich in between him and Gallagher. I think that may decide it.
That was a close finish. The two were right there. They were right, only 0.9 of a second between the two of them. So Gallagher was trying.
He certainly was trying. They've both been fabulous all season. Snadden and Gallagher fighting with plenty of cars in the Elite Championship once these splits were brought together.
Ah, damn it. We just missed Denchi's donuts.
And yeah, driving superbly all season long, and we'll have to wait and see who's coming out top between Snadden and Gallagher in the Open Championship.
There we go.
There we go. Matty Dench doing some donuts to celebrate championship victory. Of course, he already had the victory in the championship. He wrapped that up last round, and let's face it, in reality, probably the round before that. But donuts to celebrate coming from outside the top 10 to win the final race.
And here's Dane. Dane's in a crack as well.
As he should. Driving absolutely superbly, absolutely proving that he belongs in the Elite Championship for next season. And the thing is, with him and Gallagher and Wilson, they've not just put together strong races. You know, we've not just been seeing them occasionally pop up in the top 10 with the elites. Every race since the splits were joined, they've been on the fringes of the top 10 at times during the race, and they've all put together a complete season, which is what you need if you're going to be competitive in the Elite Cup. Just like Matty Dench, who's taken the victory for the feature race. And then got Shane Wright in second place with a really strong recovery drive, making up a whole heap of positions. Where Ben Croydon then taking home third for Team Joan. Blackout Motorsports New Zealand then take fourth and fifth with Sproul ahead of Corey Lazarus. And then got in sixth, and Freeman in seventh. So that's your third, fourth, fifth, and seventh are where your competitors in the team championship finished. And we'll have to wait to see how that figures out points wise. And then in the open split, Snadden takes home 60 points, Heinrich in second, Gallagher in third, Ladder in fourth, and Paul was in fifth. And looking at those points, I'm pretty sure that does mean that Snadden will be open champion. Although I'll hold off crowning him until we get the official confirmation. And I'm pretty sure also that Shane Wright will have taken second for the Elite split. Or the victory of the non-Matty Dench Championship. And we'll just wait now to see if any of the drivers deign to join us in the broadcasting booth. And in the meantime, Adam Lavis, who's been working hard all championship, updating the points tables, bringing you the production for this broadcast, will do the calculations and check what I'm saying is correct, and will bring you the results for both the Elite, the Open, and the Team Championship as soon as we have them for you. And we're just going to look at some of the highlights for the race as we wait on the drivers and as we wait for the points to be calculated. You can see multiple cars going 2 by 2 through here. We saw Matty Dent there in the mid pack, not something we see very often. He deliberately, we believe, to go for the most overtakes in the round and have a bit of fun because he had the championship wrapped up. He also took the very sporting decision to make his setup open source, and he shared his setup with everybody that races in the Porsche Cup before the race, and well before the race, to give them time to get the grips with it, to practice with it and get used to it. And that may be why we saw the times just compressed a little bit at this round, as well as the track being an equalising factor. I'm just seeing Stephen Gallagher getting punted off at the beginning of the race. I'm just hard look for Gallagher. I do hope that hasn't cost him the championship, but I believe it may well have cost him it to Snellen. They're all winners in my books anyway. They've had a great season-long scrap between the three of them. Paul Wilson, of course, he had a lot to do with being 8 points behind coming into the final split, and with not many cars in the Open Championship, it was unlikely they were going to finish anywhere other than as the top three. But looked like he didn't put in enough fuel in the first race, and after a strong start, we saw him pulling over on the start-finish stretch, which we think may have cost him. Which, well, basically put him out of the championship, and then in the third race, having that spin entering pit lane definitely took out any hope he had of getting the championship. Thanks very much, Any Name, today. Much appreciated. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the championship, and I'm sure it's been a pleasure driving in the championship for the man I'm just bringing into the commentary booth, your champion of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup. It's Matty Dench.
Yeah, how is everyone?
Very, very good. Did you have fun out there tonight? Did you? First of all, let's just confirm your qualifying position. That was deliberate, right?
Yeah, so I didn't want to not set a time because then my fuel calculator won't work. So I did a normal lap, and then just before the start finish line, I just jumped on the brakes to slow it down.
Yeah, so that put you into 14th. So definitely looking to have a bit of fun out there tonight, and mission accomplished, I assume.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess with the open split guys for their championship, so I just wanted to sort of start in the middle and just have a bit of fun tonight.
I tell you what, the top of the open split guys, though, they're beyond the middle. They're fighting in the top 10, and we saw Snadden, Wilson, and Gallagher all in the top 10 at points. It would be really fun to see some of those guys that were fighting for the championship in the open split make their way into the elite split.
Yeah, for sure. The pace of the guys tonight was pretty good. Like, even if I had have done a proper quali lap, I think we still would have had a pretty good race out of it.
Yeah, really tight between, I think you, Corey Lazarus, and Shane Wright. Your best lap times was only maybe a quarter of a second between the three of you.
Yeah, and Andrew Smith, he had some really good pace there as well.
Yes, he did. He did. Andrew Smith, he wasn't at all the rounds, which is why we tend to, I think, forget about him when we talk about the fastest guys in the series. But every round he's been in, he's definitely been in that top 5 fight, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
That nice distinctive green livery. I do like the distinctive liveries. It makes my job a lot easier than all the variations of black and silver liveries. So yeah, definitely didn't go all your own way tonight. A couple of incidents. The main one being with Shane Wright as he rejoined at the first corner. Were you? I don't want to say were you surprised. It probably sounds a bit harsh, but I guess, was it a pleasant surprise how tough it was to get through the field in the first 2 races?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was just trying to be careful not to cause an incident, but yeah, it was really good fun. And yeah, race 2 there. I'm not sure if he got pushed across into me like straight off the starting line, but he sort of come across and
yeah,
we touched, and yeah, he ended up on that long pit road, and I was just sort of with the assumption like, oh, yeah, I'll have a car to my right. We can just make it 3 wide in the corner, and then right before we turn in, I got a 3 wide call. So well, we can't make it 4 wide, and I just couldn't slow down in time to let him out.
Yeah, he there was a slow starter in the middle of the pack, and him and another driver both sort of compressed, and then he sort of compressed into that as well. So he got moved over, shuffled to the left, which caused contact with you, and he was just coming down the exit road from pit lane, and rejoined, and it just didn't. The timing wasn't quite right, and the two of you made contact, and he got a penalty from the stewards for that. Yeah, it was one of those things. It was clear cut. I think you had to get a penalty because it was definitely an unsafe rejoin, but really hard to judge. You can definitely understand how it happened.
Yeah, like I was expecting us to be 3 wide when he rejoined, but we would have been 4 wide. So.
Yeah, I don't think 4 wide into doing works even on the first, even if it's the first lap and everyone's going a little bit slower.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're just gonna bring into commentary booth now another potential champion, although we'll wait for the calculations to be done before we crown him as such. We're now being joined by Dane Snadden, who is just taking his mute off. Dane, great racing tonight. Congratulations on your results. I won't congratulate you for the championship until we get the points calculated, but I think you may just be home and hosed.
Oh, you'd want to hope so with 3 wins from 3 wins, mate. What a race that was. That was tough.
3 from 3.
Pretty sure.
Damn, I thought it was only 2 in my head. I must have got that wrong. If it is 3 from me, you're definitely champion because you're only 2 points behind going in.
Pretty sure I got the first race. Second race, I popped in 6 overall. That was a tough race. Those boys are super quick. And then I think right at the end, Paul Wilson, I think he must have had a bit of a moment coming in the pits because
yes.
He slipped back. So that popped me back up into first in open class, mate. So I'm super excited about that. I think that's 6 wins on the trot. So
that's awesome. And we saw you fighting in the top 10 for most of the race, for both the second race and the feature race. Fantastic racing. Definitely had the pace of a lot of the elite guys for the last couple of rounds, and even before then, you were towards the back, faster than some of the elite guys. But you look competitive, not just hanging on. You look like you were looking for overtakes. I think you were putting pressure on.
There was a good guy. It was good. I think Gordon Ramsay, I was having a good dice with him there for a bit.
You were.
And, I had Corey Lazarus in my mirror once, and Matty Dench in my mirror once, and I got out of those boys' way. I don't need to be seeing those guys in my mirror. But no, the CP Motorsports 992 Porsche was pretty quick. Braking has worked really hard on, but I feel that's my only downfall in the Porsche at the moment. That's where I'm losing a lot of time. But I'm pretty stoked for the boys back at CP Motorsport. That's their first iRacing championship, if it's all to be announced anyway. But super stoked. Hope all the viewers at home had a good race to watch. And thanks for putting on a wicked series.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch and to bring it to everybody. And I will just take the risk and say congratulations on your championship, and congratulations to CP Motorsports for their first championship. Given how confident you are, I don't feel like I'll be misleading you. So if it is wrong, we can be wrong together rather than me feeling guilty. So congratulations, really well deserved. Really tight battle between you, Wilson, and Gallagher. I was so looking forward to it before coming into it tonight. Real shame for Wilson. So I don't know if you realised, but it looked like he ran out of fuel on the first race.
Yeah. Oh no.
And
he had some really good pace tonight, Paul. So I was super impressed with his driving. But
yeah, he was driving fantastically well tonight, as did Gallagher. Really looked like any of the 3 of you could take it after the first race, and then you absolutely smashed it in the next 2, and well deserved victories. And yeah, you're right. Paul Wilson did get it wrong going into the pits. He went in a little bit quick, dipped a tire onto the grass that shoved him into the inside, and then as he rejoined, he hit the wall. And then of course, because of the unsafe pit entry, he got a penalty and had a really long pit stop, which took him completely out of it.
Yeah, no, he was super strong in the first race. I actually took a bit of words of your wisdom from last week, and instead of getting out of the way of a few of the elite guys, I sort of tried to stick up with them and keep a couple of cars in between me and Paul in that first race. So that was once again I made a mistake in that first race. Those two mistakes in the third race, I thought it was game over because I hit the wall. But yeah, put my head down, kept my laps clean, and super stoked, man. I've been thinking about this race all week. So after a bit of a disappointing round in the GT3, you got taken out, so that was a bit disappointing. But yeah, super stoked to bring home the bacon.
Absolutely, and you should be stoked. Winning the open split is not easy, and it was a tight championship between three of you. You withheld the pressure going into the final round and came out on top. So you should be absolutely dead chuffed. Fighting in the top 10 for much of the racing, looking like you'll be competitive, and I assume probably move up to the elite split for the next season. And really, I don't see why you shouldn't be aiming to challenge for maybe even a top 5 in the elite split next season. That's such as the pace and the improvement that we've seen from you. So I think you take this, bask in the victory, but also be full of confidence for next season.
Yeah, I'll spend a bit more time on these breaks. That's my main downfall. I can see I'm losing a bit of time there every lap, but no, super stoked. Yeah, thanks to the GSRC guys. It's wicked little series that you guys run. Heaps of competitors. All on the Discord. They're really helpful if you do need a hand with anything. But yeah, first place. Super pumped.
Yeah, we do pride ourselves at the GSRC on being a good place to go racing, hence the name, the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. So really glad that you've enjoyed it and enjoyed the season. And of course, it's easier to enjoy it when you take the victory. So for the final time, congratulations once again. And
Thank you.
Just head back over to Matty Dench before we look to hopefully bring you the points and then wrap up for the night, unless some more drivers decide to join us. So Matty Dench, some really good battles there. We saw at one point, I think Andrew Smith and Samuel Sproul, I think they both put on quite a nice block on you at the exit of MG, well, going into MG. So I think they had the inside, and then they just ran you out of road out of MG. You must have absolutely loved that, getting into like a proper fight with people really trying to defend from you, because so often when you come through the field, you're racing people not really in your race, and they sort of, once you get into a position to make the overtake, they sort of just let you through. Not, you've earned the overtake, but they don't fight it too hard. Whereas tonight, a few of the drivers certainly really fought you.
Yeah, definitely. It's always really good fun when they try and fight back and keep the positions. And yeah, we just coming down MG there. I was like side by side with Andrew, and I just pinched on him a little bit too much, and we touched, and it just pulled him to the outside, and I just sort of ran out of road, so I had to let off. But yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you're relishing it out there, and given you'd purposely put yourself back in the pack so that you could have some racing. I was really glad to see people get out of that, I guess, mindset of thinking, maybe run my own race and try and go for the podium, and actually really fight you and really try and get that win. And it was only a few laps more, and you would have struggled. So almost as a team, they managed to keep you behind in the feature race, and certainly in the 2 sprint races, you didn't manage to make it all the way through, which I guess obviously you would have wanted the win for the 2, but I bet that made you happy anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, tonight was never about trying to win. It was just trying to find a bunch of people to try and give me a good race, and yeah, we definitely accomplished that.
Definitely mission accomplished. And how is your other racing going? We asked you a couple of times and make it a bit of a normal question. How's your other racing going?
Yeah, the GT3 and GT4 on Monday night went pretty well. We wrapped up 2 championships over there.
So is this your 3 championships this season for GSRC?
Yeah, this will be number 3, yep.
Oh wow, that's impressive. And how many did you compete in?
Just the 3.
Just the 3, that's what I thought. That's that's quite a record you got there. Was the GT3 and the GT4 a bit closer?
I think the GT4, I missed the first 2 rounds, and then I skipped the second last round, and yeah, won every other round after that.
Yeah, so that not close then.
Yeah, they were kind of like the Porsche Cup races, kind of.
Yeah. Well, hopefully somebody will make the step and be able to become the Matty Dench Mark II and become the challenger across the series. The Porsche Cup, the GT3 and the GT4, which of course both run on a Monday night and are broadcast live. If anybody's interested in catching Matty Dench do his thing in another championship. So yeah, if there was one where you think someone's going to step up to challenge you for the championship, do you think it will be the Porsche Cup?
Either the Porsche Cup or GT3. It'd be really nice to have some people step up and have some really good battles. It'll be fun.
And is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? You won the championship. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Probably Simon, my teammate. He's taught me quite a fair bit in the GT3, so it's pretty good.
Team, of course, being Team PGZ, who took out the Endurance Championship last year. That's right, isn't it? Yep. The silence was like, oh god, I forgot that wrong. I was like, it's definitely Team PGZ. I'm sure they took out the championship. Are you competing in the team in anything at the moment? Just the iRacing Enduros?
Yeah, just some other leagues and stuff. But now I'm working, so yeah, kind of don't really have. It's just a time zone sort of. Yeah, I can only sort of do these nighttime races for me. So yeah.
Yeah, pesky work getting in the way of the really important stuff like the sim racing.
Yeah, that's right.
So certainly how it can feel sometimes. How are we going on the points, Adam? Not quite yet. All right, cool. I'll keep going then. Right, so with Phillip Island, there's a couple of really key corners, right? So you've got Southern Loop, and you've got Lukey Heights, which are corners where there's a lot of time in there if you get it right, and it's very easy to muck up if you get it wrong. How are you taking, if you don't mind sharing, how are you taking, we'll start with Southern Loop in this car? I'd be interested to hear.
Southern Loop's at turn 2?
Yeah.
I treat it like a double apex and try to sort of be mid-track around like where the little crest is in the middle of the corner. I'll try to be mid-track there, and as I get to that crest, just touch the throttle and it just turns the car in for the second apex.
And have you got a fair bit of trail braking through Southern Loop, or are you getting most of your speed off before entry?
Yeah, I carry the like a really light trail brake until just before the crest, and then I touch the throttle as I come to the peak of the crest, and it just kicks the car around a bit more.
Yeah, it's quite they're getting I found getting the acceleration point for that corner really difficult, getting it so that you get around the corner, but you don't want to give up too much time on the exit. So you're saying you're taking it just after that second crest, and once you've got the car pointing in the right direction, I suppose.
Yeah, the throttle input it's pretty tricky. Like if you don't quite give enough, you'll understeer, and if you give too much, you'll just get lots of oversteer. So it's a little balancing act.
Yeah, you're using it to help you make the corner, but you gotta get it right. Interesting to hear. It sounds like you drive fairly on the throttle in these cars rather than the steering wheel for adjustments.
Yeah, so corner entry, it's all you get the car to turn while you got the brake on, and then as soon as you let go of the brake, if you don't touch the throttle straight away, the car will just want to understeer. So you just got to find that sweet spot with the throttle to keep the car turning.
Yeah, just giving it a little bit of rear tire slip to keep the rotation going, which is similar to an open wheel car. You generally are doing a similar sort of thing with the accelerating to help you through the corner. I guess the similarity being that they're also almost always rear wheel drive, so that'd be the similarity with the Porsche Cup cars. And for an open wheeler, they've certainly so for a tin top, they're certainly relatively oversteery compared to a lot of tin tops because they're pretty light and the weight, there's a bit more weight in the back compared to other cars. So that's Southern Loop. How about Lukey Heights?
It's a bit of a tricky one. There's like 2 lines that I'll do through there sometimes. Sometimes you just sort of go like from a wide entry, just try and hug the inside all the way around. But it's kind of rough on the tires, so I was sort of like hanging out wide and staying mid-track for like almost half of the corner before I'd tighten it up right at the top of the hill.
And then braking just before the crest?
Yeah, typically, like if I take the wide line in, I carry a lot of speed at the top, so yeah, I got to brake like quite early before you drop down.
I think that's definitely one of the toughest things about Lukey Heights, is because you've got multiple lines that all sort of work and there's not much to choose between them. Your pace at the top of the hill can be quite different depending on how you've taken it, which changes your braking zone. So sometimes it feels like if you brake, or something I found when I was doing some practice laps in these cars earlier just to get a feel for how they felt around here. Sometimes I felt like I needed to brake before the crest, and sometimes I felt like if I broke just before the crest, it would, like, I was easily screwing off the speed and I was leaving lap time on the table, which is probably partly due to the line through Lukey Heights. Taking a different line, you need to change your braking point for into MG just ever so slightly based on the speed that you carry through.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky to try and get the braking right, because you can't be too hard on the brake as you come over the crest, but yeah, like as soon as the car settles, you can be pretty aggressive on the downhill.
Yeah, you kind of want to brake enough just to feel the brakes and be comfortable on where that locking point is as you come over the hill, and then really get hard into it after the hill. Almost, braking for feel rather than to actually slow down before the top of the hill. I found myself doing a lot of the time.
Yeah, just trying to get the car settled in. Yep.
Yeah, similar thing to what I do at Oran Park, which is where we saw the GR86s earlier tonight. You've got the that fast left-hander, and then you've got the tight left-hander almost immediately afterwards. And I found that I sort of trail brake for the first corner just lightly, just so I was already feeling the brakes and already feeling the back end going into the second part, and that just helped me feel the car better. And similar, same technique for here with the Porsche Cup for Lukey Heights and into MG, just getting a feel for the back end, because sometimes you're doing stuff, you're not always accelerating and braking. There's a famous quote from Andretti, I believe it was Andretti, who was saying it's amazing the amount of top drivers who think the brake is to slow down. Insinuating that its main purpose is actually for shifting the weight of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's absolutely right, because if you want to slow down, you can just let off the accelerator, and then you'll eventually slow down. Probably not fast enough for most corners, but it'll get off early enough. You'll slow down. Just don't accelerate too much in the meantime. Now, how does that compare with how you were taking it, Dane? If you're still there.
Yeah, mate, still here, listening to the master explain a bit of his lap there. So just trying to take in a little bit from what Matty was saying.
Pretty similar to how you were taking those corners, or any differences?
I haven't tried Matty. It was awesome. Put up a setup there for everyone to use. I did it last week and I did it again this week. And I don't know. I could feel good turning with Matty's setup, but I couldn't control the rear end, so I went back to my setup where I think Matty runs a bit of toe in his, where I like mine on 0. It just helps me steady with the setup I've got, like running the V3s. I've got V3 inverteds and just an old CSL Elite, so I probably don't have the best feel in the steering with the Porsche. So I don't know. It's just what I've got, what I've been using. So I'm sort of trying to get the best out of it. But lines, I watch a bit of Coach Dave. I have unfortunately paid for a bit of a setup to keep up or get up to speed with you guys in both GT3 and the Porsche. But yeah, lines, what Matty was sort of talking through those first couple there, I'm happy if I can keep it on the black stuff, mate. Phillip Island, you want to keep on the island, but yeah, so lines are a bit tricky. I just, where the car is, I work with that.
Yeah, it is true. You're definitely right. Phillip Island, just keeping it on the black stuff is a pretty good result generally, particularly in that feature race. 35 minutes around Phillip Island, it's so easy to make a mistake and go off in the grass. Your hardware setup's the same as mine, the V3s and the CSL Elite, so I can definitely relate to what you're saying about the corner entry. I found actually the GT3 freeze I struggle with feeling the rear end. It's the only car that I've really noticed it in, and even then only on certain tracks, so like Bathurst up the top of the hill. It feels like I'm doing the same thing every lap, and then one in every sort of 8 laps I'll spin, and I can't feel it coming. Although whether that's a hardware or a driver limitation, I definitely wouldn't like to bet on it. It could very well be a driver limitation. How's your hardware, Matty Dench? What are you running?
I got a VRS wheelbase and Mecha Cup pedals, soon to be upgrading to VRS pedals.
Ooh, nice. Recommend?
The VRS base and pedals I would highly recommend, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't looked much into the pedals, but I've definitely heard good things about the bass, saying that it was just a very good bass, particularly if you don't want to go Fanatec.
Yeah, it'd be on par with like the Semi-Cube 2 bass, so yeah.
Yeah, so that's a step up in setup compared to me and Dane. Definitely. I think once I've got a house, that'll I'll have to sneak some upgrades into my rig.
Yeah, well, if you just can sneak an upgrade here and there throughout the year, by the end of it, you've got a nice setup.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very glad I went VR. I find VR fantastic. Do you run VR or triples?
My computer wasn't good enough to run VR, so I went triples.
What? Go on, Dane. What are you running?
I'm on a dirty old curved 32-inch monitor, mate. So not much budget down here in Jersey, but
That's brilliant.
I think I got 144 hertz. So I get a pretty decent screen rate. The triples, you can see so much more. Like, I think I've made a few mistakes this year from not having triples because I'm not judging where the cars are, like sort of on the side of me. So that's something that I want to get. But no, PC wise, I'm pretty good to run triples. So maybe one day, but at the moment, yeah, just a little 32-inch curved.
I tell you what, I don't know how you do it. My VR headset broke, and I tried to do some time attack on my, admittedly like 24-inch, 20 something inch screen, and I couldn't do it. Just the lack of peripheral vision. I was like, if I get into any wheel-to-wheel combat, I'm going to be so cautious because I can't see anything. And then the longer corners, not being able to look through and find my late apex, I couldn't handle that. I was going to get too frustrated going down to a single. So I don't know how you've managed to be fast enough to win a championship with a single. That's really impressive.
I probably hurt my field of view a little bit to get that perspective or the wider angle for that reason. But once again, I just play with what I got and come and have a bit of fun. And,
yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. It's all about the fun.
Yeah, for all those single screen users out there, have a look at some head tracking like Track IR. It'll let you look around into the corners and stuff. It's a big help.
Yeah, I've seen those. They look pretty funky actually.
Might have to be a championship treat. You deserve to treat yourself with something for winning the championship, I reckon.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the sponsors back at CP Motorsport. So we got like heaps of good sponsors out there in the real world that help everyone out in the sim racing community, such as like Bez Media, King's Car Care, Elite Brake and Mechanical. You got Next Level Racing, and there's Snow Store as well. So we got like clothing ranges, we got car care, we got every type of real world sponsor out there supporting the guys at CP Motorsport. So it's a pretty big operation. It's sort of more based on on GT7 PlayStation. That's where I've done my time, but they're branched out into ACC as well, so it's pretty cool to hit a championship for those guys.
And if you're listening, he's brought you home your first championship. Get him something nice. Give him a nice treat. Make him feel happy. Make him stay. He's gonna have other people that want him now.
Well, I think Maddie's got a set of pedals there that could possibly come my way.
Got any plans for your soon-to-be second-hand pedals, Maddie? You're gonna sell them?
Yeah, I'll be selling them. Yeah.
Might be able to pick up a bargain, Dane. I don't think you'll
There
get
we
them for
go.
free, but you might be able to pick up a bargain. Maddie Dench approved pedals. That's got to be worth something.
I might have to slide a DM his way a bit later on. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a
I think when I'm ready to sell them, I'll offer them up to someone in GSRC before anywhere else.
that would certainly be much appreciated. You might have to get into a bidding war, Dane. That's the only issue.
Well, that's a funny story. That's how I got my V3 inverteds. There's a page on Facebook called Motorsport Raffles Australia. It's run by one of my good mates, and they have people who raffle off sim gear. So I managed to pick up those V3 inverteds for, I think in the end it was like $35, or it might have been about the $50 mark for the raffle ticket. So that's probably one of another sponsor out there that helps out the sim community, but we'll have to have a look in a new set of pedals soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. The pedals, of course, for sim race, for anyone that doesn't do much sim racing, really important, a really big difference between the pedals and just how much feel you've got. And of course, if you can't feel the amount of pressure you're putting in, feel where that locking point is, that's going to hurt your lap times a lot. And then also getting a consistent feel really helps you as you're modulating your output to better rotate the car. So really important, really big performance differentiator. People have won championships with really cheap pedals, so it's certainly not, you can't blame your pedals, but they certainly make it easier and help a lot, particularly with consistency. And thanks to the hard work of Adam Lavis in the background, we have got the final results for the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Elite Cup. Maddie Dench, as you well know, you are champion by an absolute country mile, 175 points in the end, over Shane Wright, who does bring home second place quite comfortably over Corey Lazarus in the end, 452 points. And I tell you what, he's had to work hard for that because he's had quite a few races where he's come through the field to get into the podium positions. Corey Lazarus, we saw him very nearly get a win off your Maddie Dench earlier in the season, and fighting really hard and having some really good results, but also having bad luck at times. He finishes in third place. Ben Croydon then in fourth, strong in the end, not far from Corey Lazarus after a really strong final round. Dylan Shepherd in fifth place, and then Jono Freeman just a few points shy of Dylan Shepherd in fifth, coming home in sixth place after getting a victory in race 2 here tonight. And then Guy Leach in seventh, Ben Pedersen in eighth, Brett Barker in 9th, and Samuel Sproul goes up 3 positions with the results of the final round to finish in 10th, with Andrew Smith in 11th, who missed quite a few rounds. We then got, and then in the open split, there you go, we can confirm it for you, Dane. There it is, in writing. Dane Snadden, you are the champion of the Porsche Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup Open Split. Congratulations. In the end, a fairly, I say comfortable, 19 points over Stephen Gallagher, so close to a sprint race. And then Paul Wilson brings it home in third after some bad luck in the first race here tonight, really hampered his hopes of mixing up with yourself and Gallagher for the championship. Behind yourselves, you've got Callum Heinrich in fourth, Adam Tice moves up into fifth, Michael Ladder moves up 3 positions into sixth, with Brendan Van Ryn in seventh, Michael Plunders in eighth, Kelvin Little in 9th, and Bradley Carr in 10th position. And then the team standings, really close between Blackout Motorsport and Team Joan. And I tell you what, I do think that incident with Jono Freeman at the end of the third race did in fact cost Team Joan. Yeah. And I think, you know what, I think I'm not going to put that down to the spin. I think that I'm going to put that down to Corey and Samuel Sproul managing to get past, because I think they would have got past without the spin, given the move was already made, and that was the decider. I think even without losing that extra position or two, I think Team Joan wouldn't have been able to hold on to first place. So I think that obviously the spin didn't help, but I think even without the spin, it had been decided once Corey Lazarus got past. So congratulations to Blackout Motorsport New Zealand. You are our team champions for the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup, and quite fitting that the sponsors are also team champions, which is fabulous to see. Corey Lazarus and Samuel Sproul taking it home by 10 points over Team Joan, which is Ben Croydon and John Freeman, and then Matty Dench taking home third spot in the team championship by himself as PGZ Motorsport. So there you go. There's your standings for the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup season 2023A. We're going to have another Porsche Cup season to bring to you soon in a few weeks' time. And we're going to wrap up here tonight. But before we do that, we're going to thank our sponsors. Of course, Blackout Electrical Solutions have been the sponsors for the Porsche Cup for 2023 Season A. It's been wonderful to have you on board. They've been who have allowed us to bring this broadcast to you on the Wednesday nights, which has been a lot of fun for both myself and Adam. Really enjoyed it. We've had some fantastic racing to bring you this season, and I can't wait to bring you more racing next season, should we have the opportunity. Other sponsors for the GSRC are Login Systems, West Orange Motors, Astute Finance, Insurance and Wealth, Fisher Door Lawyers, Flash Graphics, and last but not least, Waste Options. Thank you very much from everybody here at the GSRC. And if you haven't had enough GSRC, I believe there's no more broadcasts this season. However, we do have 2 races coming to you from Oran Park. Next week we saw Oran Park, that's where they are GR86s ran earlier tonight, and tomorrow we'll be bringing you the Formula Vs and the TCRs. Get involved, get in the race, it's a lot of fun. I'll be racing in the TCRs with Adam, who is behind the scenes tonight, and the voice that you hear popping up every so often, usually to correct me or to point out something that I have missed. We've then got the Wings and Slicks on Friday night. They're the F3 from Phillip Island. That will also be a cracking race. Even if you haven't raced the F3 this season, get involved because they're a lot of fun, and Phillip Island is a wonderful, wonderful track. We then on Saturday got the Mountain Men, and it is the GR86s around Bathurst for 32 laps. There you go, 2023 season. The season 2023B will commence on April 17th, so you got a week's break, so that's 2 weeks from a week from Monday. Yes, a week from Monday. Come on, trying to do quick math. A week from Monday. If you're looking to get involved, please visit race.tgsrci.com. That is our website. All the information for our seasons can be found there. All of our racing rules, how to get involved in the Discord and get involved in racing is all online. And from myself and Adam, and from the rest of the GSRC, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure bringing you 2023 Season A Porsche Cup. Can't wait to see you again next season in whatever series that may be. Good night.